Yeah, welcome back. 2 o'clock, couple hours to go here on, hey, we're holding near positive territory. The NASDAQ just dipped into the red, but overall, it has been another positive day for the market. We'll see if we can't get a bounce going here for tech stocks. Back to the upside, 0.5%. Meanwhile, for the Dow, about the same, around that 0.5%, pretty much all throughout the midday there for the S&P as well. Still in positive territory. TSX here in Toronto, same story. Brazil's positive, 2.8 for crude. Yeah, just broke day highs, in fact, for oil as we head, under 30 minutes to go here until the pit session closes for crude. Bitcoin and Ethereum still positive on the day as well. That two-day move for Bitcoin continuing after what happened yesterday. Huge move back to the upside for cryptos right across the board. There's the big board to have a look at to kick things off this afternoon. As I mentioned around 12:30, it is the tech group here that is kind of lagging or leaning a little bit on this rally, bringing us back to the downside ever so slightly. Software names specifically pretty weak in relation to hardware equipment makers and semiconductors. ENPH, that SEDG I saw was somewhere on here as well, back to the downside. For some of the clean energy related names. Pfizer with that lawsuit or potential lawsuit on one of their drugs that came up this morning. Regeneron, J&J as well to the downside. Eli Lilly, Biogen as well, all the drug makers under pressure. CAH, meanwhile, 5% rally today, coming off a decent report for them. So healthcare stocks break even. Material stocks are higher. Industrials higher today. Look at the energy group there. As I said, crude oil back to day highs. Consumer discretionary names leading right now, along with the banking sector, but specifically some of the travel names popping back up to the top of the list. Speaking of top, something called TOP, T-O-P, just popping up on a volume scanner. Not a lot of volume today, about 700,000, but the latest, maybe low floater to get going. Hope your afternoon is going well. Hope you had a great day as well. There were some individual names we were talking about in the pre-market this morning. A ton of earnings, once again, that gave you some really good chances right out of the gate. I want to mention Tesla coming up here as well, because Tesla trying to bounce. But let's jump into a bit of a review to kick off the afternoon, as we like to do. Neil is here to get us going.
Welcome. Your trade of the day is going to be about pattern recognition here today. And we're talking AMC, mostly because of the opportunity afforded by looking at what happened in the past and being able to make a trade execution or set of executions based off of that. As always, higher time frame. I'm really just looking at a 60-minute, but I want it to be relatively clean. It's just a few sessions here, not really looking at more than just that last week. But I have a couple of lines set out for you guys. If you look at the biggest moves that have happened in AMC, and we're talking down here, and then we're talking this last push that we just saw a few days ago into 27. One of the things that's been in common with these moves is the action off of the open, which has led to some dip buys. But the good thing about those tops is it gave us some target areas here. You can see wick off tops to 27, 27 and a half, but then really volume highs at about 26, and this channel 25 lower high as well that held resistance, then big rejection of those levels. So as far as where we thought it could go this morning, 25 and 26, we're going to end up standing out there. And then I always sort of go back to once you make a bit of a bottom, and that's exactly what we saw yesterday. In the afternoon, late afternoon, we put in this top here at 23.85, and we're talking about that in the afternoon show, that 23.85, could it go, could it go? But the late support on that 60-minute candle here is right down around 23.25. So I came into here saying, if we are in this range, I like the long. If we are breaking out from this range, I like the long, and I know where my targets are going to be. But we've got to keep in mind the fact that it's been dip buying all the time. So I knew when we came in this morning and we're already at 24, when I logged in, it's like, okay, we're above that zone. I favor the long side of the trade. Getting in early, and this is actually at 7 a.m., we're longing 24s into the quarters. We're getting back in around 24, and what happens? It's like, oh, these moves are getting really shallow here. Scalps them out. Last load in is just after 9 o'clock. And at this point, I even think I even said it on the show, like as you're getting long in this last time, we got lower highs coming in and we're trending to the downside. It's been doing this dip at the open. Shouldn't take any more fills until the open to see how this one fleshes out. So we didn't take anything else in this little pocket here. In fact, got some out shallow, anticipating that you might see a bit of a dip. There's a couple of ways that this can end up playing out for you when you do this. You could just break down at the open and get stopped out looking for re-entry. Or you can get rather fortunate in that line here, which didn't even challenge the 23.25 on our 60-minute, this line here at 23.5, it actually ends up reversing right on the pre-market low. When that happens, all you have to do is see it bounce off that level, take a long in front of it, and then you're back into the same trade as before. Always respecting where there were some sellers, to be able to get some out at the quarters and the 50s, and then it just became the pattern from the day that we launched to 27. If you were trading on this day, every single even and 50 break was a re-entry point. You'd hit it and it would be clean. And the end result was going all the way from 22 to 25 in one session. Now, didn't think that could repeat, but we definitely believed get back in once we break out pre-market high. Once we take out 25, we're getting back in. There's going to be one obvious misstep in this trade. I always like to go over where's the place that we went wrong. It's pretty simple to be able to see it. I just told you about the evens and the 50s. There's no re-entry back here at 25.50. Now, when you're engaging in a play the trend but get multiple entry points on breakouts, the whole point of scalping it out is that you're getting back in, either when it makes the break or if you're afforded to be able to get a dip buy alongside of the trend. Otherwise, you should just be holding on to a bigger portion of the position. So there was a mistake made here in that I did not catch that 25.50 break. Suddenly, I've got nothing else in the top end of the range except for what we have left with 25s. We watched it resist that 26 area, and that's where we came back to our concerns here. You had a wick off top the other day when it went parabolic at 27. The sellers re-engaged at 26 and took control from there. So on a lower high, with the market looking like it made a turn, it did make sense to get out at 26. Hindsight's always going to be 20/20. Was it a short from there? Yeah, it absolutely was. But bias was to the long side, structure was to the long side, multiple entry points, but also understanding we didn't want to get stopped out at the open. So it was important to hang back, allow it to dip, and then get the rip. Your trade of the day is always brought to you by Day Trade the World. Get started with your trading floor today. Check the QR code below.
What a day it was for AMC. What a day for some of the meme stocks once again. We'll talk about NVTA as well, I'm sure, throughout the afternoon. All were on that this morning. Make sure you grab that every single morning. And yes, we are working on making it a little more easy to get a hold of the watch list, guys. I'll leave that with you for now. NASDAQ just made a new low. The S&P 500 about to make a new low. We are still positive, but only just. Let's talk some Disney here because I mean, it's kind of relative, well, a little bit, relative weakness coming into play here for Disney back to the downside. 118, I guess, was that support level from throughout the morning here off earnings. Great report for Disney, guys. They finally surpassed Netflix for subscribers in the quarter.
Yeah, we say finally, but I mean, it didn't take that long. I mean, they
That's
only
pretty
produced
quick.
this in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So congratulations to everybody on Disneyland. We are only, I mean, here on the sticky note, just quickly here, look what we said, dip buy into 118, 120. So we talked about that 118, 120 area where there could be some support. So I made the mistake the first time and I don't want to make it again. We only went short. You guys saw me hold this. I'm still in this trade, but look where we are, right back to 118. So this is going to have to be an out, I feel like. I feel like it could still break lower, obviously, with the NASDAQ and the S&P both. Well, actually, the S&P is still up 0.3, but this name is definitely puked. We went hella short. We're still short. We're $2.34 in the money. Great name, great story, but as I tweeted out earlier, I just think it's too far, way too fast. We talked about that earlier on this movement up from that downside of 90 bucks all the way to 125 this morning. Too much. And I just think it's way too much there, way too far, way too fast. So there it comes in. And where do we stop, man? We stop at 118. It's funny because the majority of my outs were here at 120 for that same reason. I thought that was going to be a support level. So in hindsight, and that's the problem as it's 2020, but getting out there and then re-shorting at 120 again was the right call. But here it comes back in, so we'll try to figure this out. Let's zoom in a little bit. Remember, we are on a 2-minute chart. I'm just debating that, hey, if we take out like this, let's just call it 118.50 and we'll get out, okay? Because I don't want this to happen again where we rip all the way back and then we lose that little last bit of the trade. So right now, this is a PDT style trade, man. We first went short there. Then this was the biggest trade for me all day from Well, obviously from a P&L side, is it though? Yeah, this should be my number one. Yeah, it should be my, once I get it, it'll be my number one stock. But it was breaking that low. So this was like a little tester position. And then we put on about 3 times the shares once we broke the low. So we got a piece out just in case it didn't break that low. Then it breaks the low. Then the floodgates open. And there's we're getting out at that 120. Then it comes back down. There's some 119s. And then we were holding for 118 and we didn't even, for some reason, I wasn't paying attention. So we'll see if it comes back again, but 118.50. Disney, great report. Oh, by the way, Roblox right now, also with a tank move. We were long. Are we going to talk about, we're going to talk about Roblox soon anyway. So any opinion there on Disney before we switch off that, Neil?
Sometimes the best thing you can do is get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Because that's all that can be done with the long on Disney today. I had one long in front of the low, and it lasted 3-minute chart, so I'm going to say the better part of 5 minutes. It might, like, based on the wicks, it could have been 6 minutes. It was definitely more than 3 because there's one candle in between my entry and exit, so that was good. But ever since then, it's just been a short. And sometimes it's easy to reverse. Other times, you're still favoring that side of it. You'll see, like, I had a bias to the long side, and that essentially made my day, and I'm still in kind of some longs. I did have a couple of shorts. Maybe we'll get into some of those that stopped out when we were at lunchtime. But yeah, Disney, all you had to do was be able to get out of Dodge. When it could no longer support that morning low. I actually thought that, I think they had a good quarter. I kind of like where they're going here and competing with Netflix. But when you start to fill a gap like this, like your downside risk becomes, it's too much. You can't fight longs when there's a gap like that. It's essentially never worth it. If you really like the long and the gap gets filled, then you got to look back to where there might be support at 118. And even then, that gave you a tiny little bit there. But yeah, Disney, it's still up that 5%. I still think it was a good quarter, but you've got to be able to understand when it's going to go against you. And incidentally, this would have set up pretty well for sort of, if it doesn't break the high, it's not going to fly. That's terrible. I'll come up with something better than that. But like when it couldn't take out the high of the day, everything else. Yeah, everything else was taking out highs of the day. Like we're going to show you about 1 million breakout trades this morning. And when something like Disney does not break out, the risk reward at this point ends up favoring the short. That would have been at 123. It's a setup that I usually like, but I came in with a bias in the other direction in Disney. So the best I could do was not lose a lot, but I was going to lose because I wanted the long.
Yeah, still a great day for Disney. 5%, obviously, the market now just a quarter, the NASDAQ negative on the day. Let's get a check on the overall market. Speaking of, Steph is here for a look at the futures.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let's talk about ES futures and some of my trades that I were able to catch today. So this is a 5-minute chart that I have here. So of course that major level that was in play was 42.50. So I did adjust my intraday levels. So I had 42.47 and 42.33. Moves to the upside I had at 42.60 and to the downside 42.20. So I caught shorts to fade this move here at about 42.55 and we came all the way back down. Now what I was not expecting was this complete reversal where I actually got out. I was looking to see a bounce at 42.45 to sustain and continue to hold that key level of 42.50. However, we were unable to do so. So then coming to the downside here, we're at 42.20, continuing to push lower lows. Now yesterday's high, as I previously mentioned, was 42.13 and 42.10 was the key critical level to hold in order to maintain bullish momentum. So now, as we're continuing to push lower lows, are we potentially going to bounce from there or even go right down to 4,200, that key psychological level? That's all from me, guys, and back to you.
Yeah, it has been one of those days. We were so strong out of the gate this morning, and then the reversal came in. So we'll see where we end up holding. Worth a note here on Fubo. There was some takeout or buyout chatter floating around. There was a note that was circulated. So Fubo with a big volume spike, you can see coming in there, but right back down as well. Still up huge off earnings for FUBO. Roblox, speaking of earnings this week, $50 seems to be a sticking point here for Roblox today, guys.
I just noticed, yeah, Roblox, big time trade. I mean, actually, Now that I got out of, yeah, Roblox, Disney will still be my number one. For some reason, guys, Disney just shot to that 118.50. So we got out there, closing out our Disney trade with a bang there to end that day off there. I like how it now says Steph on the futures. I like that there on the board. So thanks, Brendan and Lucas, for that one. Yeah, Roblox, man. I mean, what a tale of two stories here today for me. We went long early on Roblox, right? Then when it started to hit the VWAP, it started to fail and come back in. All of these have reverted into shorts, right? Including this last one right here at 51 bucks. You're now at 49. So this is $1.20 in the money on the short side. We didn't do anything through here. We waited for it to get to 50. It actually happened. So I am channeling my inner Steph and inner Arun right now, trying to hold a little bit long for longer moves like you tend to do on the futures. But yeah, let's just wait to see. It's dancing around 50. I mean, it's broke 50, but you know, we're hovering around it still, 49.70. It's making some of these lows. We've already gotten stock out at this level before earlier when we hit this short, came all the way back, and then we re-shorted it. So we're not going to make the same mistake that, you know, now that I say this, I'm just going to get out another piece right now. If we can, we'll sit there at 72. I should have just punched out right there. But we're going to get another piece out here because I've seen this happen again. It's come back down here, just like we miss out the opportunity to get out at 118 flat for Disney. Let's not try to do that again, and then we're punching out at 50. So let's get out, just fill me at 72. Let's just get out one more piece down here on the low side of this, and then we can withstand holding. So it's been a great hold for me. Like I said, we're $1.10 in the money. There it is. So we go down sides. Yeah, so that's going to be a good one. We'll drop the bomb or grenade or whatever the hell that is. Now for Roblox, it's the same story. We said this yesterday, both Neil and I. You wait for these pops in the stocks that actually don't report well. So we got it in Upstart, we got it in Micron, we got it in Roblox yesterday, and then today on a bunch of analyst upgrades, Roblox just takes off. We marked it down on our sticky note that we wanted to bust this thing through 50. We missed the trade. I know Neil had that, but that I should have been on that, like, because it doesn't happen till 9:35. So that is like 100% my bad. That was a great run to the upside. You could have taken your 7-8% when it went to 53.50. That's 7%. So that was a great run upside. We let it go and then switched over to the short. So pretty happy with our performance on this right now as we go. Go see the people at the desk there, Tony. Go see Lucas over there.
Oh, we got to wait?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I did have the long in Roblox, but it did a death candle on me. I think this is, I'm going to show you a 15-minute chart. You know what, I'll start with this. A lot of times what will happen is when you're expecting a bigger move off a gigantic level, you can be on your 3-minute chart and you'll take a move late. Like I like the 51 breakout, but you've already taken a $1.50 move here off of the pre-market break. So I'm not in that trade, and you catch it late at 51, and then suddenly you get one of these. It was a heavy wick. It reversed back like $1 instantly. I'm like, oh crap, we're going to be turning here because the market was turning. But you always should lean back into that higher time frame. And when you have something this significant as the top that was being taken out on Roblox, you've got to understand the type of move it is that you're trying to play. And when you have something that had room, I thought to 55, ended up being 54, you don't want to have that tight stop in there. Sure, you save a little bit of money in case it goes against you, and it's not like it's a losing trade, but it's a missed opportunity. And at this point, I just feel if there was a place that was going to make a bottom, it is that high from like 49.5 earlier. You go back to a couple of days ago, that was that top 49.5. That channel to 51. I think that's where we're playing for this afternoon. So I think we have a chance to bounce off here. As I say that, it's like I probably should have at least attempted a long. That could be a big floor if it breaks out. Breaks down. I think if we get back to 51, it's a bit of a short. But with this bounce in the market, I'm going back to an old one. You might have seen me get into Rivian. They report tonight. I've tried a couple of times, one that stopped out during lunchtime. But as the market creeps up here, I do have an AMC long, but I'd like to trend back in on Rivian. If it holds VWAP, I think it can test lower. Futures break, that could go. Futures break, Roblox 49.50. Again, that's got some serious potential. Support's at what, like 47?
I was going to mention this safe hold, SAFE, going absolutely crazy right now, up 9.25%. This has gone from $40 down here to $48 today, straight higher on a business combination with iStar. This then caught my eye. Apple now with the highest weighting in the S&P 500 of any company since 1980 as of today. So. Interesting note for Apple, but the stock's actually kind of flat on the session, I was noticing. So there you go. It was, if you're wondering, in 1980, it was IBM I saw down here. That was the biggest back then. Cool note, though, for Apple, guys.
Yeah, we just went back and forth. I said I should have guessed IBM. I said XOM maybe, but then I saw that it was 1990 or 1980. I think it was 80. Oh, okay.
It was 80.
Yeah, right. So if it was maybe 1990,
it was longer than,
maybe a different story there. But IBM, look, I mean, Apple continues to be, the name to invest in on many dips. Yo, Tony's here. What's up, Tony? What you got?
We got a special delivery from Barry.
What? From Barry. Oh yeah, Barry J. Barry's up to it again.
Barry.
Thank you, Barry.
You're my homie, man.
All right, we kind of saw this. I kind of knew that there were some cookies coming, but holy crap. Eat cookie, be happy.
I'll tell you this right now.
Baker.
You guys
Thank you, Barry.
You guys can only see this. You can't feel it.
Just watch it.
I could do curls with this.
How heavy is that?
I mean, this is not. It's not light. So I don't know what's.
All right, let's.
That's not cookies, man. It's something else.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
cookies.
hell to the yes. Those are cookies.
Oh, hells to the yes.
Are you kidding me,
These
bro?
are okay. I see. That's a pistachio one. That's mine. I'm taking that pistachio one. So there it is, right there. Look at this assortment. The night. Look at Neil's eyes. The night baker.
I'm
Barry.
speechless, man.
Barry is killing us. Like, can you guys see? Like, this is like melted in, like, jeez.
I have a pastry weakness. This is gonna be a problem.
Like I'm trying to get like
on
a diet here and stuff, but wow, nice treat. Thank you. Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
I can't focus
let's
now.
zoom in on that. Like,
It's
look at
over.
this. There's a pistachio one right here underneath this guy. I'm taking that one, so it's time to start making some dibs on that. But thank you so much, Barry. Wow, and here it is. Little plug for the night baker there. Wow, what a great.
That's a great name. I love the name, the
You
night
want to take
baker.
one? You see one that you like already?
Well, I'm kind of eyeballing. I don't want to.
Yeah, I know.
touch the one on
that's the
top,
problem.
but I see
We'll have to
some
get some
underneath.
napkins.
Like it's actually like a dozen of them there because they're like
This
on
is
top
the
of
video.
each
I'm
other.
just gonna take this one because I
I'll
think
just
this is the
watch.
pistachio
It's
one right there. So I'm gonna grab the pistachio. I mean, I can't. I got to go to my roots, right?
Oh.
The funny thing is, the pistachio one's the lightest one, so I think that's good. So it's not like loaded with craziness.
This
but
looks like some sort of like caramel.
All right.
That's me right here. This
Fahad, come grab them,
caramel
man.
looking delicious.
Give them to Brent. Where's Steph?
Yeah,
Let's see. We'll share these amongst it. There it is. Oh, that was Fahad's hand. You guys almost saw that. But
And
thank
so,
you.
just so you guys know, like, to say
Thank
that,
you,
to say
Barry.
that
That
we
was-
appreciate this, Barry, is like it's a bit of an
Wow.
understatement.
Thank
Like
you
it's
so
so
much.
cool. You guys don't have to do any of this, man. Like
Tweet
it's,
at me, I'll retweet
But
you.
all that said, we absolutely love it, and a shout out obviously
Match your shirt.
to everyone that's done it before. But like, fantastic. This looks absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
I
these
can't
are-
even focus.
Wow, how did you, Barry, are you from Toronto or something?
That's
Because that's a pretty reputable
How'd you find this
bakery
place?
there. So, and then you had Frank's as well. I saw
Can
him
we
in
just
the
please
chat.
have a bite? Can we?
Match your shirt. Yeah, we can have a bite.
All right.
Okay, let's have a bite.
Cheers.
Wow. All right. I mean,
That's that shit right there. That's the shit.
that's that good again. Wow, thank you, Barry. Wow, that is like, not only, the thing about the cookie is, you can't stop it. The thing about the cookie is like, it's so fun, man. Only have one, bro. Like, this guy's wolfing them down.
You can do your thing, man.
No, I'm just playing around here. Neil, we'll just leave Neil a bit. But
I'm done for a couple minutes.
the thing about it is, the texture, like there is like an unlimited, like, wow, that is good. Yeah. What is it? Go to Brendan right now.
I'm serious. This one is like, there's like corn or something. It's not even, I thought it was peanut butter, but it's not. There's like,
Cornbread?
it's like sweet corn or something.
It's like a cornbread
It's
cookie,
amazing.
maybe. We got to
This-
go on their website, man.
cornbread cookie.
Quick note. This is actually in my neighborhood. This baker's in my neighborhood. I walk by it all the time. So Barry, maybe we're neighbors, but thank you. Much appreciated.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, and it's not often you're going to get Brendan mowing those down.
Exactly.
So that's a benefit right there. Thank you so much, Barry. We'll get back to the show, but that was awesome. Toronto actually has amazing food. There's so many great food places. I mean, we could put it here. We can do a plug. Which one did you guys have? Yeah, so we still got lots in there. Maybe the highest trainee or something can get a cookie.
That's not a bad idea.
Or something, or we could just take it home or leave it around. And Maggie, anybody watching, Maggie, Liz, anybody involved with Trader TV Live, of course, should have one. And Miss Stephanie's over there analyzing the charts, so hopefully she'll be able to come through and grab one as well. Tony, if you're watching,
You're having one too?
Oh, she's got one.
Is that
She's
chocolate
got-
fudge? Double chocolate.
she's killing the double
Right?
chocolate
It's
game
unbelievable.
right now. Wow, those are really good, man. Those are really good. I think Barry's trying to distract us. It's like, trying to give us a little bit of a heads up here on on our diets and everything. That pizza yesterday, the number one complaint was I went back for another slice and it was all gone.
I told you there wasn't going to be any pizza
I know,
left.
you're dead right about that one. I was like, nah, there'll be some left. And then
It's a trading floor, bro. The pizza's not going
it
to
got
last. You think
destroyed.
there'll be no cookies left either,
That
too.
pizza was damn good.
That's
yeah, but
for damn sure. Because
Daryl Flinch double chocolate.
when we're done at 4 o'clock.
What's everyone's
there not
favorite
be
cookie?
any.
Maybe we can start
This.
Yo, Maggie, cookies are here, man. You have to grab one.
I mean,
I think we should make Maggie come on camera. Why don't you just come on camera and get it? All right, she doesn't want to. Okay, here you go. No, bring your hand so everyone can see your hand. There it is. There's her hand. Okay. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that was fun. All right, let's just go, man. Stephanie just said, oh no, in our chat. I'm going to blow her up right now.
What happened?
She's a big sweets gal. There she is. Yo, what's up, Steph? You might as well wave. There she is. Yeah, she's killing it over there. She's a big sweets girl. So if you guys want to, send some more sweets, I think Stephanie would be pleased with that, but not too much,
You
guys.
heard it.
Oh man, she's saying the cookie's amazing as heck. I gotta have a little bit more of this. Yeah, this is tasty.
I
man.
appreciate you taking over here, Sean. 'Cause
Yeah.
until I'm done this thing, it's like, forget about it.
Katrine says we should mention ciders go really well with cookie. Okay. I like cider. My wife loves ciders, by the way.
At this point, I'm not
Ciders
even
go
mad.
well with cookies.
Usually I get like pissed off. I'm like,
Oh.
yo, why do you always have to put the camera on me when I'm eating? I don't even care right now. I don't care.
Like this, first of all, welcome to the trading show. My name's Sean. This is Neil. Yeah, I want to make a big shout out to Callie. I have no idea. I have to meet this guy. He's on the floor. He actually brought in one of those big ass Tim Hortons coffee things. You saw it there. So thank you for that. So we'll have a coffee and a cookie for the show here. But okay, so we already talked about Roblox at 50. So Roblox comes right back up to 50 right now. We have been getting some out. Obviously, there's that out that we took just before the cookie time came through. But that was it, 49.70. We are holding a small piece, but thankfully we were able to get some of that out. So now we don't have to worry so much about it. But yeah, so let's just move on to the next part there. If Brendan is
What are you talking about?
corn. What was
the
it?
best
Go
damn
back.
cookie I ever had in my life.
What was that, Brendo?
Yeah, it's called Cornick or Cornick.
Jim Cornette?
Yeah, corn. It was a cornbread cookie. Mine just blew.
Yeah, I said that. Didn't I say it was cornbread?
Yeah, it was so good, like crazy. Anyways,
All right.
I don't even know what we're talking about. We kick things off with. It feels so like long ago now.
On the screen.
They're back. Go over to them. They're back.
All right, so Maggie Maggie took like 4 or 5 cookies out of there. She's loving the cookie game right there.
It's only 2.
Wow, Maggie, like, come on. All right, no, just playing around. Hopefully Liz got one and Katrine got one. So this is what I got, the pistachio here. Roasted pistachios, matcha, and white chocolate. So I haven't seen the white chocolate yet, but that's in there. Obey, that looks like a good one. There it is, Cornick. Cornbread, toasted corn nut topping.
There's a baklava.
Very interesting.
That one's left
Yeah,
here.
you saw that one, the baklava. There was a cheesecake blueberry one there. Which one did you have? The Nutella cookie? I didn't see
No, it
which
wasn't
one.
Nutella. It was,
This one, for the gods? But was it? Did
No,
you taste
it
toffee?
I didn't taste
Which one did you have? Walnuts and cashews? I didn't even see which one you took. This one, chocolate. I don't know if yours is
You know
on
what?
here.
I don't think mine was
Salty
on.
Bay? No.
That's not
Mac.
blind.
Wait a second. There's a cheese one?
What's this one then?
What? I don't know. Okay, we got it. Okay, forget about it. We got a show to do here. This
Okay,
is
so
getting
just-
to be crazy.
Before, I know we have to move on, and we're going to talk about AMC. We talked about AMC a little bit. I'll get to that in a second. What's up with the short now, Brad? TGL here. I heard Luca talking about this. We had a meeting, came back, and I know everyone was watching this halt stock over and over, another one of those IPOs. Suddenly, it's gotten very stable at the highs, right? Like when a stock has low liquidity and just is entirely a halt fest, I still can't focus, man. This is crazy. Is entirely a halt fest and then consolidates off highs like this. It's not halting anymore. It's not gearing up for an upsized move. And it's so hard. I tell you guys all the time. Oh, goodness. It's so hard. I went to the higher time frame. There is none. When you have to take a breakout at the high. And I don't like it. So when I see the risk to reward here, it's realistically to 11 to 10.50, which bodes a lot better if you're long off at 12 or if you can catch one of these little like micro dumps. And then if you're taking out the high. So like I don't want to be in a top break on one of these. We've seen how that's played out before. And sort of finding a way into this at a lower price with a risk to 11 is going to be my preferred fashion. But I know on the board is AMC, so we talked about it for trade of the day. But let's move on to what's happening now. Ooh, that's one of our segments. And it's 12.85, holding the bid like an absolute champion. So VWAP has been maintained. We played VWAP once to 25.50, but the apes are not done with this one. I don't think so anyways. If it goes to, if we're at 25.50 now, so if it rejects this, then I guess they're semi-done, which, as I say that, offer at 49, and then we're able to get some out there. We're looking to see if this can finally take 26. If we break 26, you guys know 27 from the other day has got to be in play. The volume not where I'd like to see it, and the market kind of weak, but the trend is strong. Stop stealing the damn...
N-O.
No, I told Randy about them. I told Randy, so he...
What is happening with this thing? This is Maggie doing this, by the way. What exactly are you doing? Why? Why is this happening?
One left.
Yeah, you want it? I don't know what it is. All gone.
You really just used like...
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Randy.
What
just happened?
That was bizarre.
Like,
Everybody, look, the entire crew, like, they're just laughing their asses off. Like,
thanks, Barry Jones. I mean, it's been very entertaining.
Why do we even have one of those grabber thingies? Like, I don't
know,
understand,
Randy.
like-
I mean, here's everyone just chilling out, like the hardest working team around. There it is. Well, you got Maggie, we got Fahad, everybody.
Like, I have an aunt who's like 80 years old who has one of those. It's like they're useful.
My
man,
kids
but
have one of those,
I don't
like
know
a
why
kid's
you
one.
have one of those. It's a little weird, bro. But do you?
I was talking to
Love
Randy.
you, Randy.
here on the
Is it
side.
good? Yeah, he loves it.
I don't know which one he has, but that pistachio one is.
It
pretty
doesn't
sweet.
even matter which one you had.
The
Those
matcha.
are delicious.
Matcha's a good combo there with pistachio. So, honestly, Randy,
I'd love to be able to bake well. Like, it's just...
Yo, give me that.
My wife's
Hold
okay,
that,
but...
bro.
You know what was legit, too? Remember that pie?
Oh, I remember that pie.
Marissa made...
She made a couple. There was a couple.
No.
Cheesecake pumpkin
It was a
pie.
pumpkin cheesecake pie.
Pumpkin cheesecake pie. That is... I'll have to tell her
We
to do
had that one on the show. That's where... Because if you were watching
What the
that
hell's
time,
that?
I lost my shit for 20 minutes. It's the same thing with this.
What the
do you
hell
guys-
is Barry doing?
Oh, for the love of...
He sent more. There is more cookies
Okay, this is getting out of
in
hand,
the
man.
building here. Yeah, bring them over here, Randy, and open that bad boy up for everybody because honestly, we've got a show to do. Mark, could you just take this? I don't know. It's going to be too much room there. Thank you. Okay, I'll open it again then. Is this the same stuff all of... Oh my... Get out of here.
That.
Honestly.
You're the purple one.
That's the blueberry one.
Oh, I want that one.
Barry, stop it. Honestly, this is too much now.
Okay, just out of...
That's amazing.
I don't want to be that guy.
I don't know if Mark got one. He can choose his
But like,
first.
I got a shotgun to grab one for my daughter so she can taste. Because she's a cookie fiend. But I'm trying to figure out like.
So me and Neil will get one more each because I should bring them home.
But I gotta bring something home. Barry, thank you so much. But I have to share that. Like I have to try to share that with.
I mean, it's just.
You know what I mean? It's
That
like-
one's pretty sweet for the blueberry.
That's what I'm thinking. It's either the blueberry or the chocolate. But I'm thinking it's the chocolate.
Go for it. Go
I'm
nuts,
just gonna
man. I'm
do
going to
that.
give it to everybody else. So there you go. Thank you so much. As Microsoft right now goes into the money, $2.
Oh yeah, that's happening too.
No, what are you doing? Get away. Get that nasty thing away from this food, man. Honestly, like, you know, these guys, it came from Home Depot, and here we are using this.
Well, that's
to grab
okay. So
cookies.
first of all, you should not be grabbing food that's going in someone's mouth with that thing. You don't know where it's been, Randy. Especially if Randy has.
No,
it.
you
I
don't know the
where
things that
that's
Randy
been.
eats, man. I mean,
I don't know where that's
this
been.
ain't no
This ain't
problem
right.
for Randy.
So two things,
as we
by
go.
the way.
Okay,
As
let's
all
just
of
leave
that was
there.
happening,
We'll,
remember I was
we'll
just
share
talking.
those. Thank you, Barry. That's enough. Next time, let it be beer. Just playing around.
Look at this, man.
I was long TGL and I actually lost on that trade.
And
so-
now it's like, I did want it to dip a little bit, but now it's testing that high. But this is what it's been doing. Like, it breaks the high, you take the breakout, it does the wick off candle, and it comes back in. So if you're going to look for a long on it, it's like at least the risk to reward is probably favoring you if you catch it on one of these dips, and that way
Did
you
Mark
can
get
make
one?
something on that spike. Because
Okay.
if you take the top break there, and it's like you only lose, man. Like, it's just no way for it to work. So I'm going to slip in here at 12 and a quarter. That's a very creative
one?
price, Neil, to go 12 and a quarter. So I just slid in there at 12 and a quarter, and then you can play off of this high up at 13. Let's see if this can work, and then play off that high at 13, and then try and hold some for the top, right? So this is a much easier way to try to be into it. Your risk to reward sets up. If it breaks 1150, you're out. Don't let it hold down on you, and then try and hold through the top. But last time I did this, it's like I took the scalp trade and then just got stopped out because it never made the second move. We'll see what happens, but TGL has been absolutely booming. The market, however, is going the other way, by the way. Like, I know we're looking at stocks that go up, but Rivian just came back and hit 38.60. I worked back in the trade-off VWAP. I kind of missed. See, this is what happens, man. It broke VWAP and rejected. Like, this should be an ad, but I'm stuffing my face and talking about cookies and still looking at them. which is, you know, it is
I
what
just
it
took
is.
the purple
but
one.
You ate the purple one?
Not ate it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Because I know my daughter
curious how that's gonna taste.
loves fruit.
Aaron
so-
loves chocolate, so it's just.
Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
like safe choice, which.
We're not like a big sweets family, to be honest with you.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I mean, they like, you know what? Honestly, like vanilla ice cream is like a pretty big favorite. My wife made a peach cobbler the other day, so you make peach cobbler with
Put
the
vanilla?
ice cream. That was a big hit as well. But cookies is probably my favorite. Like, what is your favorite dessert? Honestly, like I would choose a cookie over like cake, over pie.
You just really ask me what my favorite desserts are.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love an apple fritter, especially if like you go to like a fair and you get one of those. Like, don't get me wrong, like I absolutely love it from like a Tim Hortons but if you go and get a real pure homemade from like your farmer's market, like that's
apple
my bread
fritters,
and butter right there.
apple
Like that's it
fritters.
for me. I love pumpkin pie. Like you put it in front, I eat the whole thing. Like when I was in university, my mom would send me home with 2 pumpkin pies, one that's like,
Good call,
okay,
Steve.
well, you can eat that one for the day, but at least when you want to have something for the rest of the week, you can have a slice, because she knew the first one's getting eaten in one shot, because that's how I roll when it comes to pastries. But yeah, I could go on all day about it, but you know, can't do that. Can't do it.
Yeah, good call there. Hey, what's up, Barry Jones? Thanks again for that. I see you in the chat. Yeah, good call there by Steve G. Pecan pie, very nice. Pecan pie is very, very nice. Pistachio, like gelato, is one of my favorites as well. But I do like the cookie situation. So, and yeah, pumpkin. Like I said, my wife made that pumpkin cheesecake, and you remember that. So that was a big one.
It was,
for sure.
trust me, it was.
All right, back over
Y'all
to.
know.
Are we still on that board? You must take that off at some point. There you go. What's up, Fahad?
Oh, GovX.
We got tea over there. What do you got in there? Oh, some water. This guy. So he had a injury due to working out. So
He worked out too hard.
yeah, he worked out way
over
too hard.
years.
He's really trying to.
We had a discussion on the.
Pretty soon tomorrow he's going to be bench. You want next cookie? Oh, here he comes. This should be interesting. Here, I'll turn them around for you so you don't have to do too much work here. Hey, Tony, what's up? You want to see these? I don't know, man. Take them over there, bro. Just take them over there. Get out of here. What are we even doing?
What's going on?
Okay, so still in the Roblox short, still in the Microsoft short. What I want to talk about was Matterport quickly. So we made this call yesterday that this would probably be a good long, and again, it's not like we did too much work on this. It was just the fact that we talked about it basically on this show yesterday. We talked about Matterport. So, and all I was saying was, you know, where we were, if we got a big report, I really thought that we would take this level out here, 585, and we did. We went up to 750 today, and it was a great trade. Matterport at one point was up 35%. So if you were able to get into some options, and I want to thank everybody for tweeting at me, because it's nice that some people are taking some of the trades. And again, it's up to you guys, but the way that some of these stocks have been reporting lately, Matterport, again, just thought that there was a big time opportunity to blow that number out. So, and they didn't even really do that. It's just, that's what happens when stocks get excited like this. Look at that, 740 with lots of volume. That's a pretty good area to get out up there if you did take this trade. But with that being said, I want to get back in right now. So if you're going to zoom in, I mean, I'm not in at all, but just on the day, if we can get in on a 620, I was going to use 625 as a break. Maybe it's better to take 620. We have wicked up to 630 before, so yeah, this is actually a better break. Right here, 620, I'm going long on Matterport. So we'll see about that. And then look, it's 20 cents downside risk. So, you know, you take 1,000 shares, it's $200. That's the kind of stuff that like goes through my head whenever I'm making a trade. And so just for a tip, hint, hint, what you're coming out to is understand your risk, understand your reward, and then after comes Rari, right? So risk, reward, Rari. So
Or Lamborghini
if you know,
into that.
yeah, or a Lambo or whatever you want, but right there. So I'm going to take that break through there and give myself a stop through 6. So if Matterport wants to continue that journey to the upside, we'll be there. And if not, then we don't have to take the trade, right? Because we won't get triggered in. So we'll look at that through 620 on Matterport.
So just watching it, if you're watching in video, I was asked about this one. Like you're right on some obviously significant lows at 180. I think that's the last line in the sand that gets held today. You have a bit of a reversal type day. Like you rejected the highs on that breakout. We got right back to the previous lows at 187, and then you're making a rejection of that. So below 180 is a lot of room to that downside. I think you've got one shot here that it can hold up. And there was another question I want to answer as I'm asking, do stops and trailing stops work in the aftermarket? What I can tell, every single platform and broker is going to be a little bit different. So a lot of times there can be different rules in the aftermarket on your broker. For us here at Day Trade the World, our stops still work, We have access to multiple gateways in the aftermarket as well, but make sure you check what the rules are with your own broker. I am aware of a few out there where you're not allowed to use stops, let's just say in the pre-market. And that's always independent. It's always dependent on what platform and broker you're trading with. Your broker works for you, man. Just make sure to ask them so that you know what you can and can't do. There'd be nothing worse than you get a gapper, you put a stop in the pre-market, it blows through and then craters the rest of the day, and you didn't get out. So just make sure you understand those rules.
All right. Meanwhile, Microsoft, I mean, this is just going to be honestly, a big, huge trade. Yep, sorry. If you guys want, I mean, my earpiece should be in if there's anything we want to do. Yeah, this is Timmy's. So right there, someone asking, is that Timmy's? Yeah, we had a trader on the floor come through with that today. So, yep, maybe is my earpiece working or not?
I'm going to say no.
I would say no as well. So let me just log that in and throw it over to Neil, and then we can do what you guys want to do because there it is. Okay, I'm set up now, boys and girls. So all right, let's just do this, and then after this. Yeah, okay, perfect. So let me just finish up what we're talking about, and then we'll go to there. That's my bad.
It's the cookies, man. Like, what do you want?
I thought like I had the earpiece in and it's working. I just didn't have it selected in our platform there to hear everything. So, okay, just want to give you an update because we are in, and it's kind of a good thing that we're doing this right now anyways. So Microsoft goes all the way down to the bottom of the day. So we did take that bid there at the very bottom. And now we only have one piece left on our Microsoft, and we have a nice little trade on Roblox. So back-to-back dollar winners on that one.
We have had a ton of questions lately, guys, from new traders, brand new traders, asking essentially, where do I start? How do I find a strategy? How do I perfect a strategy? We're going to tell you a few tips in this video, not only how you can find your strategy, but make it the best one for you as well.
Yes, and I think we're going to start with some of the things that are kind of the basics here, and I think that's important to understand. And I just want to say, first find a style of not just trade, but a type of equity, or what do you want to express trades in? Because there's a vast difference between, let alone like futures and Forex and equities and crypto and all that, just within those buckets. Like you'll have big cap stocks like your Microsofts and your Teslas that'll trade in one sort of fashion, have a certain type of liquidity and have certain types of ranges and moves. And then you have an entire other group, which is sort of smaller cap names, which might have similar prices, but have much less liquidity, much more volatility. Then you've got these maybe very liquid names that are low price, like NEOs, which you can do with many shares as you want, and then it's steady moves, and Ford it can be in that bucket. So, you know, I'm looking at something like a Veru, like a $15 stock like a Veru. Just as an example, the types of trades you will make, simply take a breakout high, risk 10% to try to get 20 or 30%. Like that's one thing on a Veru. But then you can flip to another stock, which might be similarly priced, and it's not to say Ford can't move, but if you get a break or a move on Ford, like you are literally looking for, okay, it might give you $15.50 to $16, right? Like it is a very large difference between the types of transactions and moves you will make between those. So you're looking for a pocket, because when you develop a strategy, you have to start with something that is quantifiable. And when you document and start actually back testing and forward testing a strategy, you want to make sure that when you apply a setup to 2 or 3 different symbols, that they have something in common that's going to end up mattering. So a breakout on a $15 stock like Ford might look very different from something on a Veru. So understand the difference between those two when it comes to both liquidity, when it comes to average range, when it comes to volatility. So get those buckets together and decide where you want to start. You can trade lots of things later, but you got to start somewhere at least a little bit specific with what type of symbol you're going to be executing on.
All right, great advice. And that was sort of, I wanted to kind of do that as well. There was a reel that I put out on Instagram that was talking about, you know, stay in your zone, trade the same names, understand kind of, you know, the kind of risks associated with it. But I'm going to go even one step even further. This is talking about, you know, 3 easy ways to start your trading. For me, it's just going to be, and it's pretty easy to talk about this, but it's just keep it as simple as possible, right? You don't need to complicate your charts. We've seen some charts out there that are just crazy. This line, this cross, death cross, this, that, 50 period, whatever, right? On my line, I have 21 years of experience, and honestly, the best things to look for are just simply support and resistance And then I have the blue line here is VWAP, and then this other line is a 50 period. This is something that I've added in about the last year and a half on the show to look at some kind of technicals, and then you want to have a little bit of volume down there. But other than that, it's like keep it as simple as possible. Here's probably my best trade today is going to be this Disney short. And I mean, we just covered it, but like this is all that we did. Disney reports today, comes out, and this is not going to work for every name, but this is what I do. And it's like it struggled. The minute it was sitting underneath both the 50 period and VWAP today, and it was already up on the day, I was just like, hey, if it's not going to sit above 50 period and VWAP, then yeah, let's try the short. And that's exactly what we did. Not only that, but we did doubles. So we took the short there to start with, and then when it broke the support down here that it had all day at 120.60, that's where we hit the bigger short to the downside. So we just kept it simple. VWAP, 50 period, and then support and resistance. When it broke, we took that. Now, as you mature in your trading, then you're going to start to understand putting in some of the strategies that Neil talked about. Okay, how far can Disney go? What kind of areas am I looking at? How many shares do I use? Things like that. But you got to start somewhere, and then as you develop success or not success with these simple starting points, then at that point, as you start to understand it, then you can build on top, right? Then you can use different indicators. You've had traders on here that would use momentum or money flow, things like that to help you get a better idea of starting and stopping points. But for me, keep it as simple as possible and start from there.
Great point in the sense that there are so many ways you can enter the market and express trades in the market itself. I'm going to be very simple as well and just say try as many different styles of trading as you possibly can and listen to yourself. You will gravitate towards a certain style of trading. So if you're brand new in the market, it's very important to spend a month trying breakouts, spend a month trying momentum trades, spend a month on shorting. Let yourself gravitate towards one style of trading and stick with that and work on that strategy. But it's important to do a lot first before you focus on just one. So there you go. 3 tips, guys, on how you can not only start trading, but find what works for you.
Yeah, the 4th tip would be always make sure you eat cookies from the night baker every chance you get when you're trading. Like have yourself a ritual in there, and if it happens to include a tasty
Are we sponsored
pastry,
by these dudes?
I don't even give a damn. If it happens to include a tasty pastry, then why not? That's the best way to start a day. I still can't even focus properly because I have the cookie that I'm taking home.
People said that maybe
and
those
it's like
cookies
right
were
there.
spiked. I don't know.
saw
I'm thinking
that.
maybe based on your reaction there. There might be a little something. Is there some like neocitrin in that cookie or what?
If it was neocitrin, I'd
then
be passed
you'd be passed out. But no, very tasty cookies. Thanks again to Barry Jones for throwing that down.
You're the man, Barry.
You are the man. Thank you for that. That was a lot of fun.
But
I think Randy's already had 2 or 3. I've already messaged him in the chat.
How
Slow
does he
down
have 2
on
or
that,
3?
Randy. Slow down on that one there, Randy.
So there's a couple of things about the market, though. Like we're testing support to the bottom. I hate to be like the bearer of bad news because we always want the market to go up, but the ES is very close to turning red. And Novavax, which has been, look, almost everything broke out, but it had a hard rejection at 45, just took out this 41 bottom on NVAX. Just to give you another look at what this looks like. So Novavax, of course, you remember, got absolutely crushed. Looked like it was trying to make one of those dead cat bounce breakouts today, failed that. Now you're back below both the morning low and the afternoon 41 support. So I'm short this through. I've already scalped out some. I got some slippage on that fill. That fill actually stunk. I ended up with a 92 on a 41 break, which is terrible. But Rivian's starting to roll over as well. They report tonight. If it breaks down, I'm sitting in front of 38.40 to cash more. The only thing that's working for the long side, if you see something strong that isn't something we're talking about, let us know. Like we said, like AMC bounced off 25 again, hit 25.50, is trending back toward that high. And that TGL,
it's embarrassing because I
want to
had
say
that
TL. What was that TL? Was it TLR? This is long. This is Neil getting out at 15. I am pretty much never. I'm just hardwired to never think this thing is going more. Like you saw yesterday with whatever the heck it was. I already NVTL. I know what it was. I actually don't forget. With NVTL, at a certain point, I'm just like, this has gone too far. Out of longs, I'm thinking about shorts. I'm still like that. And then even when we're able to get something good in the consolidation, I'm like, yeah, you heard me say 15, goes to 15, I'm out. $17, fake halt just now, and probably headed to 20. The only thing I will do differently is I'm not going to short this thing unless it goes to 50. That's my way of getting out of it, because it's never going to 50. But we actually have, it's 250. Woo, time is flying. We have Brendan and our guest of the day.
It is Thursday, guys. That means it is options afternoon around here. We have a special guest this afternoon. Sam Shames is VP of Options over at Simpler Trading, along with Danielle Shea, filling in for Miss Shea this afternoon. We're happy to welcome Sam Shames to the show. Sam, no pressure. You have big shoes to fill in Danielle, as you well know. She is a great friend of the show and a wonderful person, obviously. Taking much deserved time off at this point, so we're happy to have Sam joining us today. Great to see you. How has your day been so far?
Good to see you guys. First time on. I know that Danielle's got, like you said, big shoes to fill, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right,
the day's been good. We started the day, we were long some tech stocks coming into today. We sold them all at the open. And as I watch on a different monitor, the market's getting about to go red. So we're actually looking to maybe open up a couple of shorts here into tomorrow and potentially into next Friday.
Yeah, a little bit of volatility coming back in here late in the day. Let's talk about what has happened this week, because it's been a lot, obviously, with this CPI print. We had crazy moves happen in not only the market, the equity market, but in treasury yields, in the dollar specifically. Big move to the downside off of the CPI print. And we'll tie this back in, obviously, to some trade opportunities, Sam. But give us your thoughts here. I'll throw a chart up so you can talk to what has been a very volatile week here for the DXY.
Yeah. So the Dixie has not given it up. You see the big drop there that came after the CPI report. A little bit of a double bottom there starting to form. But if you go bigger picture, if you look at it on the daily or certainly on the weekly, the structure's still intact for the dollar, and it does remain a definite headwind for equities. The best thing that could happen here for market bulls is for the dollar to go ahead and break those CPI lows. And that would really help drive the market. But it also cuts both ways. If it takes out that double top there, well, it's going to put a little bit of headwinds into the system.
Yeah, lower dollar, lower treasury yields means obviously positive, typically positive anyways for equities. So give us your overall thought here on the market, first of all. If that does transpire, if we do start to go lower again on both of those, as we said, where do we go? I mean, we tie this back into growth stocks. We tie this back into the tech sector first and foremost. Is there a one or two, or maybe a specific area of that group you're watching?
Coming into today's session, I was really expecting to see bond yields start to drop. The CPI data, if you think about the kind of the meme or the zeitgeist of this moment, it basically is that inflation has not necessarily come down, but that it has peaked, and that is the first step to coming down. We're not seeing the bond market play ball with that. Yields were up yesterday, and they're up again today considerably. And I'm actually just finished seeing a pattern here in the TLT, which is the 20-year bond, that actually looks like a pretty good short. So because of that, it puts a little bit of a rock in the shoe of the potential for the tech sector to be the main focus, and it maybe shifts it a little bit more towards kind of the inflationary trades like energy.
Let's look a little bit forward now. One group that has been obviously hard hit because of higher inflation is going to be the retail sector. Very important reading coming up next week on retail sales for July. There's an entire group as well set to report earnings coming up next week in the retail space. I mean, Home Depot, there's Lowe's, there's Target, I believe, just to name a few. From a whole, first of all, what are you thinking when you look at the retail group, and then give me your thought on one or two of those specific names.
I'm mostly avoiding the retail group for the reason that you just laid out. If you think about what's going on right now with the Fed and what they're trying to do by getting inflation under control as much as possible, a lot of that is going to basically drain discretionary income or discretionary spending away from the consumer. So I'm not necessarily looking to short those names, but I am pretty much avoiding retail stocks completely. I want things that are not necessarily overly levered to the consumer. I
Definitely.
think that the higher the commodities prices go, the higher that rates go, the less there is to spend on, whatever you buy at Target or whatever.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a wait and see moment, perhaps, in front of what is to come next week, as I said, with these earnings and the July reading for retail sales, but should provide some action regardless. Let's rewind the tape here a little bit. We've been discussing some of these high-flying tech names, some of these growth names over the past weeks and months that have been hit so hard throughout the beginning part of this year. A lot of these now have put in impressive bounces. I mean, when you get cut in half, to double up again is only the start. But talk us through some of these ARC names, if you will. I mean, there's so many that we can go through, but individually, they have provided some of the better long opportunities so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have created an index, and it's somewhat of a mirror of ARC. You can just use ARC as a proxy for the entire idea, but it's an index of really heavily shorted tech stocks that have been beaten down 75, 80% off the highs. And as a basket, those look like they were really set to provide a lot of fuel. This started happening about 2 weeks ago. And you're starting to see it in names like Carvana, Square, PayPal. It doesn't really matter. I mean, take your choice. Even ARC at this point has certainly popped off. I still think that's a place to focus, oddly enough, but I do want to see yields come back in, right? So the bond signal that I'm seeing as of today really does put a rock in the shoe of the potential for continuation when it comes to the high beta tech stocks. So I'm going to wait and see, maybe give that idea another day or two. But from what I'm seeing, that index that we created, that's basically a high short interest index, it appears that it has enough juice to go until SPX trades to about 43.50. So you can get some really big outperformance there. And it's 100% just a function of short squeezes.
Just to wrap up on that, Sam, it's been, we're in the time of year typically where the market kind of goes to sleep and we do nothing until Labor Day. It doesn't seem like that is the case this year. We've had volatility for a wide range of reasons, inflation the primary one, and these interest rates the primary one. Where do we go from here as far as the market is concerned? We cleared the 4,200 on the S&P. Is there room and is there enough steam behind this to keep going to that 43.50 area?
I think there is. Things are a little bit overheated, and mean reversion is going to take us down maybe a little bit before we get there. We basically are trying to get there in a straight line, and that's just not how markets tend to move. But yeah, I think that everything that's lining up here, I think the battle, I called it in the room, I called it the battle for the soul of the market, because we really won't know if it's just a really impressive bear market rally or if it's actually the beginning of something new. I'm of the belief that it's just a bear market rally that'll take us up to about the 50-week simple moving average on the SPX, which actually intersects with the 618 Fibonacci, 43.50. If we get above there, then the bulls have really accomplished something. But I think that we get there, we battle, the bulls will lose that battle, and we go back to the lows.
Sam Shames is VP of Options at Simpler Trading, doing a bang-up job filling in for our good friend Danielle Shea, who is taking some time off. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you stepping in for Danielle. Sam, thanks for doing this.
Happy to be here. Good to see you guys.
I was about to say that Sam did an absolutely perfect job, and it was unbelievable, and thank you, Sam, for coming on here. But don't think for a second I didn't see that Houston Astros cap that you're wearing. We're Toronto Blue Jays fans around here. So we'll see what's up if we meet in the playoffs.
Thanks for George Springer, if the guy can ever stay healthy.
Hey, Springer is an absolute beast. We love him. He's got to stay healthy. But thank you for letting us have him, because he's going to hit some bombs if we meet in the playoffs. Although I'm a big fan of JV. He's a good pitcher. But
do you know that the Jays actually are having a pretty bad season in the respect of the fact that they are 9 games under 500 against winning teams?
Why you got to do that, man?
No, but I'm just saying,
big up our team.
That's horrible. Like, I saw that yesterday. I was like, what?
Terrible.
Because here in Toronto, we all think that this team is like legit, but they're not really. They have a good roster, but I mean that stat right there bothers me.
They're not playing well.
Right, and in the playoffs, they're going to be facing one of these teams. So hopefully they can get it together. But I mean, our staff, we have good 3 pitchers. Hopefully that's all you need at least to get past that first round in baseball, and then we'll see what happens in a
If it's the
7-game
Astros. I mean,
series.
you're not beating the Yankees that way. That's for darn
Yeah,
sure.
the Yankees aren't playing well either right now. But,
Yeah, but that's just a hiccup. Judge is such an absolute monster. By the way, so the market kind of kept going to the downside
got
there.
some monsters
I was
on here.
checking the ES. I swear I saw the ES turn red for a split second there. It could.
You
I
did.
could be. I think we just ticked.
It did. Had
Yeah,
to.
and then
It's
this-
0.5 right
And then
now.
the little bounce. Like if you see what's
0.05.
happening here, like that little bounce that every stock is doing, that was when the ES went red.
Yep.
And then kind of came back in. So I'm thinking maybe reloads on some of these plays here. I'm looking at 41 in backs to maybe jump back into it, but that played down to 40.5 already. I'm in Rivian as well, so if that can maybe it doesn't get back into VWAP. I suppose Rivian might not get there. We'll see. If it does try to round up, I'll be thinking about 75 to 80 for a reload on this. Just a little temporary bounce because it feels like we're destined to end red. And as I say that, we're heading right back toward those lows. AMC.
What is that doing? I want to look at that 25.
Yeah, so that 25.5, right? Like it got up there a second time. It's starting to reverse. It's still holding above VWAP. Market making lows. So this is still actually holding up pretty well. But it's showing some signs of slowing down. Like I think someone in the chat was like, yeah, they're short in front of 25.50. That's pretty valid. I think the long is good. It hasn't really afforded any dip buys off of 25, where I think is where you make a decision, because if it breaks below that, there's room to that downside. And if you're still watching that TGL, last I checked, it pulled back, but I'm sure I could pull it. Yeah, okay. I mean, I was about to tell you, last I looked at it, it was pulling back in here. I think it's going to retest 13, but I looked at it 5 minutes ago, and now it's back at the high of the day. So TGL on to the moon. Shout out to Luca. I know he was all over this one. Someone's saying Luca called this out at 5. I have an idea of what he was probably getting at.
I was here trading it with him.
It's like when you get multiple down halts,
Nah,
it's
nah,
like the whole go long on the first up halt. Is that
Yeah.
what it was?
Nah, I mean, so he and I were in this name. He was long at 9 first, and then he punched long again on the. Here, I can show it to you because I know the trade. Just like me here, went long here, didn't get out at 13, and then got out at 9 and then or 10, and then got out at 9. So for me, I lost on this stock, and Luke is not in it, so he's gone. Yeah, downside movement there.
Why do we have it like?
We don't have a different. Oh, you're missing. I don't know why mine fills out like that and yours doesn't, but anyways. Yeah, it did go. I was watching it, and it almost, that's a fake halt right there. So it did fake halt at 13. I remember we're like, oh, it's halting again, baby, and then it didn't, and then it just crashed down, and no risk, no Rari, and for me, no Rari. So downside there, it breaks out there, we get out, and now it's popping up to 18, so what a great trade that has been for anybody that's been long this name. And, you know, it's like what goes higher can still go higher. I saw someone say that in the chat. That is going to be true for TGL. You know, obviously we're positive today, not on TGL, but that was a small little hit. So, all right, we'll watch out. There's that take. We put it in the chat when we had Sam on there. Roblox, we now have, was it 3% or something of our trade on? Just trying to hold it. I think about shorting in near 50 again, so that's what we're going to wait out for, shorting near 50, but that was a good trade there on this Roblox downside move. Short all the way in, and a bunch of different outs coming on that name. And then, of course, Mr. Softy was another great out at 287. We're short at 288. We were short here. We had to, look at that. This is, you want to talk about getting out. Like, look at that. We went short there. I say, I'm going to get out at 289.11. So it breaks 289, goes to, we got out anyways, but only goes to 20, and then it just collapses. And then we're able to short it right there again, but we should really be short up here near VWAP, which is what the plan was, but we did get taken out. And that, like, look at the risk to reward here. You guys want to talk about tips to like starting trading? So here we go, short at 90, out at 11. That's 20 cents, right? So we're out, we lose that 20 cents, it sucks, we're mad. Then it comes all the way back down. Should have reshorted it. I was not here when this happened. We sat back down. It takes out this support level right there, shorted again, and now look. Now we're $1.30 in the money on a piece. Our first take on this, that short 30s, our first take right there is O's, so that's 30 cents. So already that risk right there is taken right there, then the drop, then the drop, then the drop, then the drop. So yeah, nice trade there for Softy as this market continues to edge lower. I'm still of the belief that we will not break this 50 period, that the NASDAQ, we're going to have Steph come on soon and talk about the futures again, but you know, I'm of the belief that the market wants to come in. I don't know about a free fall Friday, but it's just been so exaggerated to the upside a little bit that I feel like the risk now are the longs, and that the shorts are a little better if you're going to load up into a position. So that's my thought initially. I don't know what yours is out there, but for me, I feel better in the shorts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there, with the exception of AMC or any low float name or short name that sort of comes up. But yeah, if it's following the market, like a big tech or just anything. I mean, even if I saw some healthcare names bouncing, but they've been pretty weak lately. Everything feels like a short today. I'll get this out of the way because someone's asking, Republic Videos keeps asking about GBT being bought for $68.50 cash. Generally speaking, if you see something like this, where like you have a really tight range, like all of a sudden the volatile stock just starts going sideways and you look it up and you see anything relating to a deal, it's probably a cash buyout. So it's the only potential gain you have there is it's trading $2 below. So whenever the deal closes, you might be able to capture that $2 spread. So that's time value money, risk of the deal falling through, but there's really not much to see here in terms of momentum or actionable trades. You're not going to find anything. Unless the deal falls through or like it turns into like a Twitter mess or something like that, there's nothing to be seen. I want to come to NEO for a quick second because this was very strong all morning for the second day in a row, bucked the trend, breaking, everything was sort of turning around later on in the session. At about 11 o'clock as we were coming off air, like everything was breaking down, looking like it was reversing. And NEO was one of the few things holding up. And even for a second there, it tried to check up at 21.5. But it managed to put in this low at 2180 that, and now a higher low here that if we do catch a bounce, so I do, like Sean said, I do favor that we're going to have a bit of a dump and not hold green or actually stay red, I should say, on the ES and both the NASDAQ. But if we are going to get a bounce, let's just say we do for a split second, then NEO becomes a name that's interesting to me because it's broken out. It's still above 5%, sorry, 4% there. It's got a low that isn't the low of the day that you can be concerned with. And then when you actually pull it back on the higher time frame, and I look at the last time it broke out from this level here at 2080, and we ended up rejecting that same 2050 that we're in, well, we're still above this channel. So it's not just the morning support that you have here at 2080. You've also got this previous resistance area that I think can turn to support. So I like NEO for the long down here. If it breaks that, obviously I'm just going to get out. But when you're bottom picking, you do so with and out. It's going to be against the trend, obviously, here on NIO. But I'm going to get on the bid in these low 80s to see if it can hold that morning bottom.
All right. Yeah, I see all you guys talking about TGL. What's up, Tisha? What's up, everybody? I see AMC also. AMC could be, I mean, there goes TGL. I'm watching it again, just breaking through 19. Someone said if you're not trading TGL, then you're wrong. And I you know what? I mean, my net would say something different to that. But the point is like, you know, it's about staying in your lane, to be honest with you. And I know there's a lot of you that like to trade these names. But for me, historically, I like them. I mean, one of my biggest winners was DWAC and some of these other names. And I don't have a problem taking them. It's just maybe less shares, maybe for a lesson for me on some of these names. So it gives you a little bit more oomph to hold them. But yeah, there goes TGL, man. A new IPO today came in. There's $5. We weren't, I mean, the show had just started when it came on. So that $5 long was great. It IPOs, I guess, right here, and then instantly halts at 6. So I'm not sure what that IPO price was. Oh, I wanted to ask Brendan this question because, you know, I just said DWAC there, right? Like, how long is this name going to be a SPAC for?
Ever.
But why? Isn't there...
It'll be a SPAC so long they take the 4 off that
there
thing.
Should, yeah.
Just ever.
There should have to be. It's not moving. So forget about it today.
It looks like a buyout.
It's just that's what I'm saying. It's just like at some point, you know, a stock has to turn over, and I'm sure there's a date, which is why I'm asking Brendan, what's up?
I don't actually have a date because they haven't set one yet. But it's funny you mention that because I saw there was another subpoena for former President Trump issued in the state of New York, I believe it was. So that was that move on DWAC today. But yeah, they haven't actually set a date to finalize that.
That was the move on DWAC.
Is that a 2-minute chart? Where's the move?
Yeah, just right. I guess right from here. He just said down, so I guess it's 30.50 down. It doesn't matter. Regardless, there's really not too much volume on DWAC. It's only 300,000 shares, but Brendan already said the key answer there. They didn't set a date.
Yeah, they didn't set it.
So okay, I just
throw something into it because you made a thought here, and I need to conclude it here because I'll tell you this right now. It's like yesterday on NVTL, I played one trade from 4 to 5. Right? Because that was clean and it made sense, and then everything after that was a losing trade. And then today I was like, look, the consolidations are easier to play it from 12 into that 15 area. I will promise you, there is a 99.9% chance, you should never speak in certainties. There's a 99% chance that if I'm in this consolidation here, all I'm doing is getting stopped out. Right? I would probably have this long the same way I tried it there, not as long a consolidation. It's just a different type of setup. I'm in it, I'm then stopping out, and then I'm watching it go to 20. Like, I'd rather sit there and watch a trade that you're out of too early than start losing on it by having no structure or just shorting it, which is the other thing that I'd be doing. I haven't even paid for shorts on it. I'm not even going to bother checking to see how much they are. I'm lying. I'm probably going to check just out of morbid curiosity because I always want to know. But like, I don't see it. Like I said, I have to do something very crazy. As far as I'm concerned, it's run stops, obvious stops here on a breakout. That doesn't really count. It's run stops one time. On this level here, it probably has to do it at least twice more, and usually the third time is when you have a bit of a shot there. So we'll see what happens with this TGL. But for sure, if I took that last consolidation, there's no way I wouldn't have been stopped out.
Before we go over to Steph, I just want to give one trade idea. I want to say thank you to somebody in the chat. Oh man, I had your name, and then they were talking about Snap. Here it is, Mashid. Thank you so much, Mashid, coming through right here. I'll show you on the chat. Thoughts on Snap? Yeah, thoughts on Snap? Negative. So you know, I like Facebook here. I don't like Snapchat as much, but I'm not going to talk about long term right now on Snapchat. I just think you are breaking this level right now. There we go. So we just punched short. So we are now short. You know, I should have just offered 05 instead of punching 04s there. But now we're short. I got 0450. So, okay, we ran into a dark pool there. So we are now short 04s here on Snapchat. I'm pretty okay giving this back to 20. Mind might change based on whatever happens here at 11. But right now, good trade. We're short 0450. First out, we're going to sit at 11 even, or maybe 1101. We do have a good position on right here. This is about the normal size for me on Snapchat. It's only an $11 name. Market keeps going lower. And without any further ado, let's hear what Stephanie has to say about that market.
Good afternoon, everyone. Back again to talk about ES. So actually, when I went back to my desk, I ended up scalping to the long side some bounce plays, and I am going to explain to you why. So I'm back here with my ES futures chart. This is a 5-minute chart here. So, I mean, clearly today it's more than obvious that we are unable to maintain that bullish momentum and strength from yesterday. So as mentioned in my previous segment, 42.10 was that level that we didn't want to stay above. So when I mentioned an extension, when I changed my intraday levels to the downside, and I had 420.23 about here, which is this line right here. My second range extension, which maybe I'll explain when I come onto the midday show next week what I mean by that, but my second range extension that I had here was 42.07. We didn't want to bounce from yesterday's high at 42.13, so I really saw that we were going to be losing some steam. However, we did run the potential, of course, we're breaking lower lows now to 4,200, and till the end of the day, do we really have the strength to go to 41.95, 41.90s, which was an area that we were bouncing and teetering and tottering around, as well as a 4,200 from yesterday. Of course, if we want to maintain this now bearish strength going into tomorrow, of course, my levels, which were in play from last week, 41.65 to 60s, even possibly down all the way to the 50s. But I would be weary with the shorts here. To me, it's not worth the risk to the reward, which is why I chose to scalp to the long side. Maybe now when I get back to my desk, I'll look for some scalps to the short side as we are in power hour here. So of course the sell-off could easily continue with some momentum going up until 4 o'clock. That's all from me, guys, and I'll be back with an update tomorrow around 9:15 for the levels intraday on ES that I will be looking at. Anyways, take care, and back to you guys.
Boom. Thanks, Steph, for all of that. Yeah. Okay, so Microsoft, yeah, good level read. Obviously, it's nice to see scalping some of those futures plays as well. You can go back and forth, right? Some levels are going to be meant for holding, some for scalping. Thank you, Stephanie, for that one. And by the way, as that happened, we did get 10% out at 01. So Snapchat did come out. It actually blasted 01. And then I didn't even see O's on the bid, and it just refreshed itself right back up. So, you know, you could have got out at 01 if you were sitting there, I hope, anyways. But unless you're scalping like I am, then I don't blame you. Obviously, you're probably still in this trade, as I am. I literally got out at 10%. So, Nothing to sort of write home about on that one. We'll wait to see if it does come in a little bit more for us. I've already talked about where my out is. It's going to be right. Actually, now it's come down a little bit. I was going to use 15, so let's just use that still. That's where my order is. It's actually at a 15 break, so somewhere up here, maybe it's 17, maybe it's 18, but it's close enough to these levels anyways. So, you know, part of the risk to reward that I always like to do, and I say this, is like, if I'm going to go short at 4 and try to get out or if I'm wrong, get out for 10-cent hit or so, realistically, you got to be looking for that 10-cent trade. So, that's why, I don't know, I didn't like how it just stopped at 11.01 when it could have just kept going, seen 11, and then kept going to the downside. So got to be really careful with that one. I think I'd be silly if I'm not looking at Meta. Yeah, so Meta kind of bounces as well. Obviously, this name is downside as well today. So as long as Meta's not ripping, then I feel like Snap, oops, that's Microsoft. How come I was just looking at Snap and you hit back? Supposed to go to the last one, but there it is. We'll go back to Snapchat right now. So Snapchat's actually... oh, that must be a wrong, is that right for Snapchat today? I didn't even notice. Oh, Snapchat is actually up.
Up 4.5%.
Why is Snapchat up today, Brendo? Because maybe there's something here that I'm missing. This might not be the short that I want. I didn't even realize that it was up 5% when everything else is down. So yeah, I don't want to be short names that are strong right now, no matter what the level. So this might be wrong on this name. So I'm going to lighten up on this position and see if we can find out more about Snap. I feel like it's wrong.
It's interesting you brought that one up. Like my day, like I'm literally missing like multiple days on my daily chart, but I don't know why I missed Snapchat this morning. Like if you look at this, that's a good level break that it took.
Why is it up?
I think it's a hard rejection that it put in. So I don't like, I mean, the trend. This is the thing. I know it's up 4.5%, but the trend is down. Like let's be honest. Like since 10 o'clock, it's trending to the downside. Like Rivian did the same thing, and I feel like, or anything, like just about everything, put in a reversal at that trend. I'm sitting there looking at the market and the fact that I'm still on this neo bid, and you know what? I'll stay on the 15-minute. Right? Like I'm looking at that higher time frame, saying it's holding this and it's going to be support, and I do still like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to stay on the bid. But I'm acknowledging the fact that, hey, it's a bit of a trend break. It'll be a relatively tight stop. I'm not likely to want to go to that well more than once. But we'll take a crack at it. I did get a reload on AMC here. So sort of staying with the 15 so I don't have to slide over. Like it tried to take out that high. I did add to it. Immediately rejected. I still have a portion of the shares from 25, so I feel like it'd be foolish not to get out the shares left from 25 and take something out here and then only be dealing with the breakout trade. It's definitely consolidating higher with a nice trend up, but every time it makes a fresh high in the afternoon, it goes like an extra 2 or 3 cents and then reverses. So you have to acknowledge at some point, if I was flat, I'd at least be thinking about shorting it if I was flat. That's to be sure. So watch out for your AMC, man. I'm not sure how this is done. TGL, I know everyone's looking at this. It did get to 20. And a little bit of a pullback. Not much yet. It's still looking very strong there. On the higher time frame, it looks even more gorgeous. But that 20 level still has to be contended with. Start thinking psychological levels if you're holding. But please, 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 pay yourself. If you've come that far and you're long at some of those great prices, I mean, you just pull up a chart of NT. Whatever the heck, NVTA. Just look at a chart of that one today. I'm gonna
look at HKD, look at Megal, look
yeah,
at all
also,
those.
I just wanted to get some more shares back into Rivian because it's popping up here, so I wanted to short that. But I did mean to say, look at what is happening in NVTA, right? Like it behooves you to pay yourself. Like it looked for all the world. Like, okay, we remember, 6 and 7 were both good breakouts here, a huge breakout above 7 even, and then support back down at 725. So I came in today, saw it breaking out those levels, tried a long, started to work, worked back into it, and then just straight up lost. And look what happened after. Get yourself paid, because if this happens on TGL and you were long on TGL and you're like 100% in the money, and then you wait till tomorrow morning at 9:30 to take it out, you could be looking at something like that. I'm not saying it's going to flush. It's just, no one ever went broke taking a profit. I'll live and die by those words, even if it sounds like, I have paper hands. That's okay, but paper hands sometimes get paid. Last time I checked. But I'm going to favor still working the shorts, even though it feels like the market's trying to make a bit of a bottom here. So I've loaded back into Rivian. Just a reminder, Rivian reports after the bell today. Like I'm taking this position sort of based on the way we've traded around this 38.80, right? Like we broke out here, we were able to get out of the trade, and then the second we reclaim that, I'm saying to myself, okay, like that's a failed breakout, holding the trend. We're going to short that same area and work it toward those lows. I'm not saying they're going to have bad earnings. I just like the trend back into the downside. We get above 39 and I'm gone.
We got really close, man. I was trying to get filled here at 40 on Softy. So actually, now that I see it, it's at 46. Let's put an offer at 40. It's kind of like the same thing. I want to get shorter on Microsoft. So we have $1 in the money right now. So that price is going to change when we get short. But Microsoft's been a big trade for us, and we're pretty happy with it. So if it comes up here, we'll get it. And then I'm going to get out if we break out through 288. So kind of that same level again for Microsoft. If it comes through, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. We still have some short. Obviously, we'd like to get shorter, but that has to happen for us. So we'll have to wait for it. We're not going to get in there and get too excited. It's the power hour, but as we've seen, the power hour has kind of been, I think Brad said the sour hour as he left on the show, and I feel like that's kind of like what it's been like for the last little bit. It hasn't been super like crazy on the moves. There has been some nice moves after. Yeah, that's okay, Marissa. She's getting drumsticks. I told her to get the thighs for the barbecue.
What's wrong with drumsticks?
Nothing. I prefer the thigh, but actually I saw that there was some chicken thighs for lunch there, so she's gonna
a thigh guy.
Drumstick. But I guess me talking to her while she's at the grocery store is not gonna do anything. But I prefer the thigh.
I do too, and like
That's why I said it.
somebody chuckled. I was like, no, I actually legitimately prefer.
Yeah, so do I.
I know where your head's at, Sharif.
What chicken do you prefer?
He's not thinking chicken.
Right. Yeah. He prefers it dead. So good job there.
Sharif likes
on
protein
that.
now.
So all right, let's just keep on going
Sharif.
here with that. So whatever. That's for dinner tonight. We'll be barbecuing that up. I do have some nice jerk seasoning, so I think the plan would be to get half of it done because my kids will not. I mean,
Oh, they don't eat jerk?
Well, first of all, my daughter has gone vegetarian. So
Oh, well,
that's the
there's
first
that,
part. But
so,
then,
yeah.
my kid, we won't like. I mean, my boy won't really eat anything other than like the generic stuff. So if it's too spicy, he'll try it, but then he'll say it's too spicy. So, but at least trying it. That's the important thing. And eventually, they say something if you show something to a kid or to anybody. I don't know if it's just a human nature thing, but if you see something 10 times or something like that, then that's when you become more used to it. I don't know. Maybe I probably screwed that up.
If there is even half-truths, I'm using that crap on my daughter.
Yeah,
man.
SDC. Okay, let's look at Smile Direct.
Just a quick second. I'm now out of my 25s and only in the breakout of AMC at 25.53. It is trying to head back up. It has yet to really take out this 26.60. I think we can get 26, halfway at least to 26 if we take the 60 out. But Smile Direct?
Oh, the study is 7 times. No, this was another name here again. Is this correct? I mean, they had earnings yesterday. I always wonder about our charts, but yeah, this is correct. And so if you're going to look at Smile Direct right now, it is barcoding. It's like that MTTR. We're not in Matterport because they didn't break anything, they didn't do anything. So, we did get, okay, we got some more of our Microsoft trade, but I just want to look at Smile Direct. I think this is a long as well if you break above this like 170 area into this level. So watch out for that. I do want to check back on Matterport quickly because the market is, it's still. Come on, charts. So we were looking at this level. I mean, you could have shorted it. It didn't take out 620, so it is bouncing around. Actually, we just almost made a new bottom there at 595. So what was up at 1.35% up here has faded out. Remember, this happens. It's the same play as every name, right? Like Micron, Upstart, they all fade out and they come back. This name will probably be along tomorrow. Like yesterday, I would think that you could swing this long again. The problem is that tomorrow's going to be a very, very tricky day because I do have a feeling that we could have that red Friday. And I know people are asking me there on the chat. I just look at it and I say, when you're looking at the NASDAQ or the Qs here, it's just one of those things where we've traveled real far on earnings that weren't great. I mean, Amazon came with some fire. We know about that. Microsoft was great. Apple was probably their worst quarter that I can ever remember, yet still rallies off that. Google, not great. Again, Google's was not a great quarter. I think a lot of you would understand that, and if you looked at it, would know that. But like you're running into resistance here at 330. So I just look back and you go back to these May levels right now. We need to take this out and look at this 200 period. Otherwise, I feel like you just hit this level that we've already hit before. Like here's a move all the way back to the 200, fail down. If we can't get back to the 200 on this move, then yeah, I do think that we fail before we even get there. So let's see if we can test that. To me, I'd feel a lot better if we stayed above 330. It doesn't look like we'll get that today. So unless tomorrow some news comes out or something that I don't know about or that none of us know about, I just don't see the catalyst for a move higher tomorrow. So,
I'll do you one worse.
Yeah, just hold on one second, and then Neil will talk about this. So there's Microsoft. Just so you guys know, we did reload that trade into that right now. 287.12. We're gonna get a piece out on Microsoft. So we just reloaded at 40, and it's all the way back down. That's a bang up of a trade right there on the reload.
So I mean, with the market, I'm with your sentiment too, but I want to go right to the semis because if you think this looks bullish, I'm not sure what you're looking at. Like you look at AMD, tried to break out today, rejected the lower high, and then now couldn't hold support. And these will look not as bad. NVIDIA, very similar story, tried to break out from a lower high, rejected it, broke the floor. Now, this is the one I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. Please don't break this yet. Micron, exactly the same thing. Tries to break the lower high, rejects, about to take the floor. Like all of these, like all the semi names look really, really tepid here. And I just feel like, you know, one or two of them go at the same time. We've seen the semis drag the market down a little bit here. There was that bounce off 4,200, or didn't even get to 4,200 that actually just came in. Anybody scalping longs on the NQ
the S&P
might have been, and the S&P probably doing okay there, but overall, we are still trending to that downside. Now, AMC, I can tell you right here, whoops, I'm on the 15-minute. Doesn't look as cool on the 15-minute. Here's 26. AMC could not get through 26 before. However, there's a party at 26 and AMC is invited. I don't know if that even makes any sense. There is nothing on the offer of AMC at 26 even. Like a lot of times what I would expect to see when something like this gets up to that price and doesn't break is like a few 100,000 shares sitting on the offer. There's none of that. Now I know it rejected it just now anyways, but wowzers. Like I should have, if I had seen size, I'd probably punch out. I looked at it, I'm like, there's nobody on this offer. AMC's about to moon. That was my gut reaction there. And of course, sometimes size doesn't matter. Just understand the fact that it cannot seem to break out at 26. I'll probably end up covering this in front of 26 and then maybe looking at a break of 26.10 or something. Brendo? There's total on the offer. Oh.
Something broke up
happening?
there.
So you see what happens? It's like I'm sitting there like telling Sean something candidly when we go to Brandon. It's like, yeah.
Well, it wasn't that candid. You were just saying that there was some size there.
There was no size on the offer.
And then all of a sudden.
Like you get a key level like that, and people want to just punch the long, right?
So shorted that
when
level.
there's like 1,000 shares on that offer, like 1,500 on a stock doing 71 million, it's like someone's going to just take that out and it's going to go, but nobody did, and it actually rejects that high the second time through. It's insane. So I'm probably going to have to get out of this somewhere in the 80s. Now we're going to Brendan.
Disney CEO on CNBC was the first thing I wanted to mention. This one as well. Laser, Luminar, just popping up here. You can see on a decent volume spike back to the upside. Apparently the CEO of this company bought 500,000 shares. I don't know if it was right now, but apparently they bought 500,000 shares, guys.
Laser?
The Luminar CEO bought of Laser. I guess that's right. So, okay, so we can check out lasers right there. So, okay, so we got out at, our first piece out was 11s. Our next piece out was O's. So, yeah, that was a good out for us right there. And then again at 287. So, good out so far on Microsoft. That's going to be a good trade for us. Obviously, we were short all day on this name. I mean, all afternoon. We were long initially. Shorts came in there. 289 out, 287, 287.80. Shorting again, 289 again. Came in short a 280.25 break. Bang that to the downside. Then we short again off of the 50 period. So far, so good on that. Just to check back in on the stock that really, I mean, I looked at it. I think it was Mashid there in the chat. Thanks for bringing it up. But again, I didn't realize it was up that much today. I thought it was. We've had some quote issues with our provider just not giving the right number. So I actually thought that was wrong. Looked at it and it's right. So we don't want to be short Snapchat. So we are going to get out on an 11 break right there, that 50 period. If it breaks higher, we're going to get out. We already took some profit on this name, so all is fine. We got out for flat on part of it. and then we got out at O's or O1s on 10%. We actually got out a 50% rate there, so we have about 40% left. So not in bet, we have exactly 40% left. So we'll see if that can come out, and if it does, we're out of that name, and really no skin lost or no. I don't know.
No skin off your back?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. But anyways, no worries basically on that one. I still like the Microsoft short. If we're going to short anything today, Microsoft's been pretty bad. I still want to go short into 288. So if we do get a rip, you'll see me get a little more short, but not until we get much closer, like maybe 80s or something like that. We got to be patient. There's only now 20 minutes left of the imbalances, so that should be good. Oh, no skin off my teeth. Maybe that was what I was looking at. I don't know if that's right either. Okay, TGL.
Skin off your back. I don't know.
Skin off your back. Okay, there's the TGL flush. So I don't want to say rug pull because, you know, whether or not this is rug pulled or not, you're still up 300% today. So it's a nice move up to 20. Often you get those key levels with issues, but like 10, there was a little bit of an issue, back and forth, halted a bunch of times. No halt again at all until now. So there's the TGL halt. If you want to get into this one, might be on reopen. Right now it's 15.
Good, right?
Tapping, 15.
I'm pretty sure Prad just had one of those cookies there. What, you didn't get
Probably,
one?
they're right there. They're beside Fahad.
They're right beside Fahad. So
Yeah,
anyways,
Randy had like 4 or 5.
We got to make sure Prad gets one of those. They're delicious, but it's all over for me in AMC. It's rejected 26 the second time. That's enough for me. I just got out there at 94. We'll take it. It gave you 25s. It gave you 25 and a half. I mean, that's up to 26. It still has time to break out the day, but it is getting late in the session. The Rivian trade, though, however, as good as AMC's treated it well, Rivian's testing back up in here to VWAP. Don't need this taking out 39 on me. So that little bounce in the market, not so little for Rivian, holding some higher lows. Like, it looks like it's still trying to trend to the downside, but this one probably holding out hope that they're going to have a good print. There seems like there's some buyers in Rivian going into the earnings. Novavax is still teetering on the lows. I'd like to look to a 40 out, but I'm going to put a trailing stop on this the closer we get to those imbalances, as they are looming pretty quickly here. And we got a super chat, and we always thank you guys for the super chat. You don't have to send us anything, but we always want to acknowledge and appreciate them. Denny, thank you for that super chat. And Sergio, with the super chat, just saying Caterpillar, so it was just that. I don't know if you just like the stock, great. I own some Caterpillar shares myself, so great. But maybe you're asking about it since they reported last week. Another one of these battling on the 50. It looks like today we're going to finally close for the second time above the 50 period, but it's not like we held it last time.
Right.
So like that was it. Like it was, you closed above and then sort of gap below, and it looks like we have a chance to do so again. So what this needs to do, and I guess the entire market in general, is it needs to hold above. You get a consolidation, then you can get another push. It's not a volatile stock at all, and probably for the long term, like you're not caring about any of that nonsense. If you're trading it, it does look like it might reverse trend here with one red day. You could have a reversal back in the trend and then head back to the lows. It has not been, clearly, it's not as impressive. When the market is doing this bounce, it's risk back on, and all these tech names and beat up names are doing well, let's be real about it for a second. Like in that context, the Caterpillars of the world aren't going to do as well. Like they're going to be a little bit slower when there's rotation back into some of those tech and some of those higher valuation names. And it's also true when it comes like healthcare, seeing a little bit of that as well. So I think CAT's in that category. It's at risk of a little bit of a pullback. Would be nice if it could actually hold that 50 period, but it's had lots of trouble doing so.
Yeah, we're all right. So I got another out there at 22 on Microsoft. We're short at 40. The NASDAQ, again, in this range, I feel like that's probably a pretty good range right now into the close, although Brendan just messaged us a couple minutes ago that it's $1.2 billion. So we'll stack up some cash there because that's a big number into the close. So 1.2 billion shares, I keep saying shares, notional value to sell into the close. So whether or not that's one big order, we'll have to wait to see. So what that add up is basically when you're looking at this, there are programs out there, and I think we get it from Financial Juice, which is a Twitter account that you can check it out, and I think it's available. Some of people said on Thinkorswim and things like that, you can see the imbalances. So we don't have them on our system right now, but if you see the imbalances, ours populate at 50 mark, so when they come out. So at 350, they will actually populate in here, and that's what we're going to look at. It'll say NASDAQ or New York. We actually don't want NYSE Americans. Let me take off ARCA right there. So you're going to see NASDAQ and NYSE come through. And then what that number is just like the size times, I don't have the price up here, but the size times the price. So obviously TTOO being only 18 cents today, that 2 million shares wouldn't affect that 1.2 billion. I mean, that's so small, but if you get a stock like a Caterpillar, just because that was just mentioned, or a more expensive stock like an Apple down here with 1 million shares, then that's going to add up some spice to your life. So why am I not out of Snapchat yet? Oh yeah, it's getting close. Snapchat getting close to being out of this name. As there it is, a good little out on Microsoft. I told you where we're looking for this again. We are starting to break higher now though. So maybe this market, like 1.2 billion to sell, like this is why you can't judge the mocks that early into it, right? Mock means market on close. You gotta wait to see what happens because news comes out or anything hits the market, the stocks are not going to care about what's happening at the 4 o'clock print. So be very, very careful with these trades right now. I mean, as long as you're disciplined, I've really not averaged into anything yet. Roblox is still a big win for us, hovering around the bottom. We don't have to worry about that. Snapchat is my bad. That's a mistake for me, but we did correct it by we got out first. If I would have known that, I might have taken them all out there, but probably not. Then we took out half for flat, so it'll be a small hit, but we still do have some of those shares on. And then we do have a new position. We did take AMC here short at 82 or 81, using this 2610 or whatever that level that Neil was talking about
10, yeah.
as our out. So if that comes out, that's fine. We already took 10 cents on 10%. So we'll wait. I mean, our target here, we're short at 80, our out is 30 cents. So, you know, I'm hoping that we do float back into here. And again, this is not against any of the apes out there. So sometimes we get added for this kind of stuff, but it's not, I mean, this is just a technical trade. I love AMC. I mean, we had it on here as a long on our sticky note today, breaking through 24 and 25 on the sticky note. And look at all the money we made earlier on the day. Boom, boom. AMC is actually, if we want to do a stock rundown, Disney's my number one. Microsoft is my number 2 stock today. Then Roblox is my number 3. And then it's AMC is my number 4. So, I mean, and we still have other positive names out. It's just this is another one of those names that we like. I like AMC to the long side. It's just right now might be exhausted. How many tops do we got to see at 26? If it takes it out, it takes it out, and I will be gone. It must be skin off your teeth because someone mentioned that was an old Hebrew saying. So I must have heard that in my passing. So thanks for that. That's probably
because I mean, like,
it is.
You have skin on your back. You don't have skin on your
I know, but you don't say like skin off my back. Oh yeah, maybe it is skin off my back.
But that just makes more sense to me.
I always do that to look at Brendan.
And I could be 100%. It just makes more sense.
That might be right. But.
So a couple of things here. Sergio, who thank you for the super chat, and I hope you appreciate the answer to your question. But thank you for gifting the 10 memberships. Like it's really cool.
I didn't even see that. Oh,
I just saw it popped up there. Bears, first of all, Bears versus Bulls. As always, doing a great job, making sure we don't miss these things as we're trying to trade as well and have a little bit of fun doing it. So he made sure I got to see that. And thank you so much for gifting those chats.
Oh,
and you can enable, when you log into the chat the first time, anybody can enable allowing gifts. And then that way you can claim some of those. So a bit of a turn again in the market. The one short, Novavax is fine. I'm getting out at 40 when it gets down there. But Rivian has shown signs of strength and was about to stop me out. Now it's back below VWAP. So when that happens, that's a rejection of that level and then a re-entry right back below that 80 level. So I'm going to get back in here. Again, that 39 is going to be the stop on Rivian, but we're going to play this to that downside. We still have about 10 minutes till the imbalances come out, so lots of time for this to work. Brendo?
There was a move up in Open Door going back to, what time was this? About 3:15. We're going to move back up to 6. Apparently, there's a deal with Zillow, so they did a warrant exchange with Zillow. Open Door, so moving back higher, guys.
There we go, open, worth a look there for sure. And by the way, not even done yet, right? Holy crap, TGL. When you go 20 and pull back to 15, gut instinct says that stock is done for the day. You do that kind of a pullback, you halt to the downside, you open lower, you're at least headed into VWAP. This thing says, forget about it. Now, this is why, if you get shorts off tops like this, you don't try to hit the home run. The home run being it's going to go right here, right now, down to $7. This late in the session, you really got to be thinking about take some consolidation out. It's going to halt to the fake halt to the upside there. It couldn't last the 15 seconds up at that price, but it almost just halted to the upside. So it keeps on rewarding people. I still think you got to take profit where it lies and pay yourself out. But this seems like it wants to break that 20 level. Someone's just asking about Tesla. What's going on with Tesla? Well, it's heading towards those lows. And one of the other reasons, I have it up on my chart here, one of the other reasons I like the reload on Rivian is Tesla's about to break the low of the day. If that happens, the market goes lower. I don't see how Rivian doesn't go a little bit risk off here. That's why I just added to it. But it feels like maybe those buyers do want to win in Rivian. Tesla, though, right teetering on those bottoms, Brendo.
Downtick in Microsoft here. Apparently more layoffs coming this time to LinkedIn, specifically Business Insider saying that. So softy on a downtick.
Oh, well, yeah, it's money time here. Because, yeah, down goes Softy. It's too bad because we could have reloaded at that same spot again. It's just we were uncertain what to do there when that market ripped. We were waiting at 80, so we could have had 60s, but look at this move on Softy. And again, maybe Microsoft... It's close, man. It's going to be a battle between Microsoft and Disney for the best stock for me today. Wow, Disney did crack that 118. Oh, man, good trade down there, breaking that 118 down to 117.40. Blech, should still have that one on board. We do not. But one thing that is happening right now, let's take another piece out here on AMC. I mean, why not? Oh, it's not even filling me there at 60. Okay, hopefully it comes in and we'll get that 60 level. But AMC moving downside right now. So we did get a piece out there. I told you where we were sitting. 60s the first time down here, trying to protect that. And again, this is a simple trade, man. That's 1-to-1. There it is. It's already out. So we could have had that 1-to-1. We are still in more than half of this, so we should get out here if we're going to play that risk to reward. So we'll just punch out some at 63 there. But we are now into 70% still and bidding again here at 60. Because remember, our short is 81 and our outs are 10s, so that's 30 cents. So we really need to get down to about 50 to make that right. Because we're bouncing off 60 right now, we'll take more out, about half out now. Then if it rips up, negative, we'll be negative on it, but at least we've taken some profit here and able to hold for a downside move. I don't remember, Microsoft's already announced layoffs and things like that, and they've already cut their guidance. Like they cut it, whatever was it, a couple weeks after they came out with their numbers, or was it before? But either way, Microsoft's already said of a little bit of a slowdown on some of that. So it is interesting to hear LinkedIn as one of their big assets there. I mean, it's not a huge moneymaker, but still, anytime you're cutting, that's an ad revenue thing. So maybe, I mean, you would think that Snapchat might come down on some kind of news like that. I mean, pulling at teeth. I don't know. Right now,
it's back or teeth.
This is hilarious. I'm just like.
Apparently, it's either or.
See, I just lost, like, why did my chat just froze there? Because I said out of memory.
See, that happens to me every single day.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, okay. I get that out of memory thing every single day.
That's our computers. I
Maybe
thought
I just need a better PC.
I thought our PCs were pretty jacked. Why do we only have 875 likes? Like, I mean, that was hilarious when we had that food, wasn't it? Like those cookies.
The cookies were great.
Todd's over there just crushing the cookies.
Steph was killing it as always, which was awesome.
875 likes.
Randy was. These guys are coming in like
wrong.
I don't know, making jokes with the grabber. That was the weirdest thing ever. Like, I still don't understand why would you grab food with that? It's not a good look. Because again, like the end of that, it grabs anything. Like you're picking up trash with it, you're reaching dishes. I don't want to eat something after you've grabbed out of those. It's not a good look. It's not a good look at all, guys. But look, AMC, I think that was the right call. We're running out of time here. But if you look at that top at 26, you better watch out for this one tomorrow because it's going to be a good level regardless. You know, whether you're shorting off of that or breaking out to the long side as a trader, you just see something like that 26 and you're going to get excited about it. I think everyone's looking to take out longs, and maybe I should have been thinking about that short off that. I don't necessarily think we're done in NVAX, but I look over and it's like I reload in Rivian, Tesla's still at the low, Rivian wants to take it out. So that one might be gearing up. It's got earnings. I have to understand that and respect it. Sometimes you see those run up. Maybe there's a buyer. There could be shorts that want to get out risk-wise. So we're getting close to 350. I have to have that out. And I got to put a trail on Novavax. Good trend, but it just did this bounce when the market was doing nothing. It just bounced like 30 pennies on me from 40.25 right back up to 40.60. Don't want to have this one get away from me and turn that into like, oh, you left money on the table. You can't have it happen to you. It's a good trend, but it was a breakout trade or breakdown trade at 41. I'll put the trail at 40.60 here just to make sure that we lock some profit in, and then just try to get it in front of quarters. That's close enough to target anyways.
Okay, so just a little talk here. Microsoft, we are not going to reload. We actually had this short all day here. Short on Microsoft. So it's nice that the market is now at its day's low. But Microsoft's going to be a little difficult one into the close. So we have been getting out of the short. So far, so good. It's another positive day for us. So we're going to go 4 for 4 this week, which has been a nice week for us. So we'll wait to see what's going to happen here on this market on close and balance. We already talked about it, man. It's 1.2 billion to sell. So watch out for that one right now on the close. We also have AMC. Good outs there on AMC as that came in 25.60. We did get a piece out there on our AMC trade. Let's see if this takes out 26. Look, you got to be in some of these names, man. So that's AMC right there. Roblox, Microsoft, AMC heading into the close. Tomorrow's Friday, so welcome to that. So we'll go Friday. Everyone loves Fridays. But the thing is like the way this market's trading right now, I am a little nervous that we have seen those tops. So we cannot hold. We're sitting here at Day Trade the World on a prop floor. So we are unable to hold past 4 o'clock. But if you are swinging something, I would lean towards a short for tomorrow. But again, anything could happen. You know, there's talk here. You see oil up 2.5% today. Maybe that continues its march higher tomorrow. That could be something to look at. But either way, we're going to be here looking at a lot of names. We have Rivian reporting, right? So that's going to be a big one. Crypto's moving around. Coinbase has always been in play.
Worth pointing this out too, because we haven't talked too much crypto, but we talk about the correlation between crypto and equities. Well, you've got a wick top, and this is a 4-hour chart, by the way, on Bitcoin, just so you can see, but you have a wick top through that high resistance, just shy of 25,000, and then a reversal there. So if you wanted to add another reason why it feels a little bit weak, despite the fact that I just got trailed out of a good short, I'd watch out for that. Now, Coinbase is on the lows already. And I want to make sure this is actually correct, that it's down 11%, just to double check.
I'll double check.
Yeah, because this is one of the stocks that was wrong the last few days. So it is down 11%. Yeah, so down 11%, but really from 100 down to 83. So where it's moved intraday is bigger than the percentage because it had gapped up. That is a huge, huge fall that we've just seen. But Rivian's heading to the upside. Now remember, it is always risky trying to trade a trend into the close with the market on something that has earnings, right? So yes, the market's falling, but Rivian here that has earnings looks like it wants to head back into the upside. There's no way I want to run the risk of there being a buyer at the imbalance and this going back to the high. So somebody likes to be able to hold this against trend by buying it up here, and that's in the context of Tesla holding those lows, guys. And I see a lot of people, or at least one person, keeps asking about Plug Power. This is falling like a rock. I didn't see anything particular, but it's worth noting. I mean, a lot of the names that have had the strongest runs, and clean energy is part of it in the last few weeks, are making highs and doing big reversals here today. That said, you got plenty of room to the 200, not even the 50, the 200, back at 25 even. I think that's where you're going to be concerned with. If we hold below 25 on this, then you got a real reversal. But they've been so strong the last week after the bill that I wouldn't give up on them just yet. Brendo?
Funny you mention that. I just saw a couple of the other ones. FCell and ChargePoint, CHPT, also back to the downside. One possibly for the list to go tomorrow. HUMA, a little biotech, just taking out day highs there on a volume spike. This one, a relatively low float stock, about 50 million, reported better than expected results as well. So HUMA, one for tomorrow maybe.
Huma, yeah, watch out for that one. Just like we found you that TTOO yesterday, if you remember that one. That ripped up and it was doing 500 million shares today or something like that. So good little look there. AMC still not doing anything, putting me to sleep, to be quite frank. And then here we go, man. Only 2 minutes now until those imbalances. If there are any names. Oh, I want to give a big shout out again. Barry Jones just became a member of the show.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
Thank you, Barry Jones. And then thank you, Sergio, for gifting 10 memberships. Someone gifted here today for the show. So thank you to Barry Jones. And Barry, thank you for all those cookies, man. They're gone now, by the way. Brad, I think Brad had like 4 or 5 of them, so they're gone.
As long as he got
right
one,
now. But
that's fine.
hey, you know, this guy's fattening us up, man. Pizza yesterday and cookies today. So I don't know.
what comes next,
I got to get on that old elliptical there tonight to get ready for that. But okay, only 2 minutes to go into the close. We're short Snapchat, we're short Roblox, we're short Microsoft, and we're short AMC. So we're gonna have to wait for that one. You know what, Neil? I think I'm going to turn this bull around. I'm going to put this into a bear because, I mean, I got to get this short into the close.
Well, we're down today.
So let's do that. Yeah, we should have probably done this on the midday show. So
no, we turned negative in the afternoon on the didn't we?
We turned negative. Well, I think we
Yeah.
started to go around 11 o'clock.
Well, the
but-
NASDAQ was negative. The ES hadn't turned negative until, I don't know, like half an hour ago or something like that. But the Qs, I mean, the Qs have been on the lows for a while. So, yeah, it probably deserves to be red. I'll be watching.
Here goes AMC.
I'm going to be looking Qs here. But even Rivian just came to the downside. I got to try to take something out on Rivian here. Because, yeah, there was just a bigger move. And I should be trying to take some of that profit.
Here we go.
There we go. Even something that wasn't working starting to work. But I was about to look at a short potentially at 350 on the Qs.
Yeah. Is one on? Hey, how's it going, my friend? Good. How are you? Are you going to be opening up a Day Trade the World office or what? Huh? Oh, you've already got a few. Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah.
I know we're live.
Yeah, Day Trade the World. Yeah, guys, hit that daytradetheworld.com and join our
Where's your
community for everything today.
Bolivia? Awesome. Oh my goodness.
JJ, what's up, JJ? How's it going? Where is your office located? Oh, Bolivia. There we go. He's in the building, right? You can come over here if you want to be on the show quickly here. Hey, JJ, good to see you again. How are you? Nice to see you. There, this is got to put down. There it is. Shout out to Bolivia. Right there. You want to say anything to your office? Are they watching?
Probably. I don't know.
Want to say something in Spanish? What do you want to say to them?
I don't know. Guys, just make some money, okay?
Okay, good advice. All right, you got to get out of here now because the imbalances are coming. Thanks, JJ. Yeah, make some money. Good advice. If we're looking for another host, it might be JJ right there.
That's the best advice. That's all you really need there. Bounces are out. I got him here. Looks like Apple to sell 1.5 million. Microsoft 800,000 to sell. Pfizer 800,000 to sell. Alphabet 750,000 to sell. Basically, everything is to the sell side there, except for TLT buy side. I don't see a single B till you get to stocks I don't know.
Okay, so we got a little bit out. Actually, we missed. Oh, no, we got 62s there, but we missed a 65 there, so we will take some more out on this one. As you can see, the market on closing balances, if there was a number there, Brendo, or anything like that, we'll take that one. But for right now, we will have to wait to see what these imbalances are doing. Roblox, $1.50 in the money on Roblox. It might just be time to get this out, man. I mean, we've made enough money today that I can buy my kids some Robux. So we'll wait to see if we can get out of that one. Why not just do it right now, $1.50? We'll put that in our pocket. Spin it. Money. There we go. So we'll put some money in our pocket now on Roblox and just get out of this name right here. Let's just punch this out. No point. There we go. I think we got 48s there on the out. So a nice out for Roblox to finish the day off on that one. AMC coming in, man. I mean, we're taking 20 cents on this. It's not going to be a huge trade. People saying I have so many executions today. Yeah, 250 executions today. So, and again, you're not going to be able to do that on most platforms, right?
Hell no.
The fact that we have that low fee structure really helping out. So let's just watch that. Okay, listen to this. So I have 250 fills today. I'm paying $16 in fees. So there you go.
That's too much.
That's way too much. What am I doing?
What's going on
I got to
here?
try to control that. But here we go to the
Why is
downside
the market
now.
holding up, though?
Is it, though? I mean, Microsoft
Well,
is 50
just got
cents in the money.
So actually, the Qs, I have a 3-minute up on the Qs. So we got all those sell imbalances. The second I finished reading those sell imbalances, the Qs popped up here to about 324. And I'm like, okay, well, it's all to the sell side. Let me take that. But it's actually holding the bottom right now. So I don't wonder if sometimes those imbalances, they mean something, and other times they flat out don't. It feels like when you want it to mean something, it doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna go relatively. I'll get out of like 324.10, but I'm trying to capture this back into the low of the day here. And you have to remember too, at 355, you will get major updates on some of those imbalances. So they might flip. The big sell might pair off there. That's what it feels like is happening. But I did say, you know, it was looking like a big sell side imbalance. The market was weak. I wanted to try to play a Q short, and it gave me what looked like a pretty good entry. I'm just not sure it wants to stay that way.
Look, today and you know, like we say, we'd be honest with you guys, today is not like a record-setting day for me or anything like that. We're going to finish the day at our highest spot, which is good, so that's fine. We had some big time winners today, including Disney, Microsoft, Roblox. We lost on Neo, which is crazy. Should have made money on it. I look at this and it's like, oh man, I just should have had that long a lot earlier. Tried to mess with it too high up here. Lost on that name. Didn't trade Meta today and wound up net down on AMD. Like we were short all the way and not short now. So that's a mistake for me. But everything else pretty good. We did lose a little bit more than a cup of coffee on TGL. So that's That's part of it. But again, Microsoft helping, as you said, Neil, not doing much. And here goes the market back up to the upside right now. So
I had to get out of the queues. We're just bouncing off the lows.
just bouncing around. So I think this is something just to get out of right now. And like I said, we're still finishing on the highest spot we've been at all day, regardless of this Microsoft take. So we'll put a bid out there. There we go. We just got out so fast on that one. Oh, and another reason why my net just came in there was because we did take out. We still have 30% or so on Snapchat, but I'm going to take the rest out. We just got an 06 bid there before it hit us and then ripped back up. So let's put this on 07 and just get out, and it'll be a 2-cent hit on Snapchat, which is pretty small. And then part of the reason why our net is going to be at the highest spot is going to be dependent on what AMC is going to do here in the next 5 minutes. So we only have 40% left, but it's been a good trade. I'd like to see this crank a little bit lower, but I'm just going to start getting out piece by piece here with only 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, just a little bit over 5 minutes to go. We're getting close, but I feel like it was the right call to get out of the queues. We're definitely bouncing here. Rivian, which we'll get to in a second because we're obviously going to talk about earnings. It looks like it was too strong. I'm not saying, I don't have a prediction on which way it's going to go for Rivian. Obviously, they're not expected to do a heck of a lot. It's not like expectations are very high here. So I get it on a real sense. It's not like it's going to be a fantastic quarter for them, but somebody has seemed to want to buy this one up counter trend going into the close. At least that was my experience. Brendo, that earnings board, I've given you one name, but what else is there?
It'll be more about the comments, I feel, for Rivian and production timelines, things of that nature. Yeah, here we go. Aftermarket and tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we looked at this before. Maybe Poshmark. Retail's been kind of struggling a little bit there. We've seen Walmart and Target. I know they're a little different.
Those are all next week, right?
No, I was just meaning, sort of the warning there coming from them. Walmart and, no, they already reported Walmart and Target and all those guys.
I thought we had Lowe's still to come.
Oh, maybe we have those guys still to come, but
somebody else. It was Lowe's and somebody else still to come.
I don't think it's Walmart or Target. I feel like we've already done that, unless those were just warnings. As I look, though, at this list, is Toast toasted? I don't know what's going on with Toast. I haven't looked at that in a while there. But yeah, the only one, honestly, that I've ever really traded on that whole list is going to be Rivian, to be honest with you. So
you traded another one. You traded
Funware's on there, yeah. But that's not an earnings play. So we'll wait. We'll wait to see. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not super interested. So I'm not going to try to hide my emotions.
If Funware's earnings are bad enough, then we get a chance to play off $1. That's what excites me about that stock, because it was actually really good off that dollar. I should go to the daily just to give you an idea of sometimes why when a penny stock or really small cap stock decides to consolidate off $1, if the risk reward trade is just solid. Tide wasn't low enough today to try it, but look at that. Off $1, your risk is next to nothing, and then it moonshots to 150. Obviously, that's not going to be in play, but $1 to $2, that could be in play tomorrow for potential break. Funware, I'm not guaranteeing anything because the volume hasn't been there lately, but certainly it's capable of some moves. We do know that.
All right, so AMC, there we go, we're out. All right, so that was it. I was just gonna say very, very close to getting out. We did get that print at the 50 period right there at 53 cents. So AMC, we are now out. That completes that risk to reward 1-to-1 there as we get them all out here in the low 60s as it just comes right into us and just fills us up. 62, 61, and then 53. This flush is great. Obviously, if I would have held it, looking at this, then yeah, boom goes a dynamite. But that was a little bit of a late take there for me on AMC, just holding it into the close. Like I said, there's a big size following this thing down. Oh, damn it. That could have been about 20 cents better on my outs. But hey, it could have gone upside. It could have gone the other way. So we're going to get out of AMC and just have a quick look at the imbalance locator one more time. EPZM there with a sell on the imbalance locator. I think that's a buyout or something. GPS there as well. We already talked about Gap, and I talked about that CEO running the stock into the ground as well, but she's gone now. So that was a nice one. That went down to $8. And I remember when that happened, we talked about buying some GPS. I didn't do it. I hope some of you guys did. That's Gap. Of course, XOM's on there as a sell, so on and so forth. So with the close only 2 minutes away.
Only 2 minutes away, and just because TGL is closing at the high of the day doesn't mean it has to open up higher tomorrow. That lesson got learned with anybody that was trading over an NVTA, but it is going to close at the high of the day for those of you that are interested in that one. Actually, Toast was, I thought there was something with Toast that was a little more volatile, because I remember when it came to market, but yeah, it's actually down today like everything else. it is in the midst of a breakout, but there's been zero volatility in this, which can be a good thing. Like maybe it does do a bit of a breakout, but that's been, I can't say there's been that good of an IPO. Like the only IPO I can think of in the last year that the chart doesn't look all that bad was in fact Dutch Brothers, and that thing was a moonshot this morning and then gave up 100% of the move. Like it's just, you don't really see very often that a stock decides that it's going to go absolutely parabolic, breaking a key level, and then act like nothing happened. 46 to 54, and we're going to close at exactly 46 even on the bid, as if nothing happened on Dutch Bros. So, I mean, the move was really just this morning, and it should have been a sell off that top. I wouldn't be surprised if Toast did something similar.
Yeah, I know who's going to be on it. I'm just wondering why you're there over there, Tony. Yeah, we do have a special guest on the bell tonight, and it's going to be Catherine. And the thing about Catherine is she's here on an internship, learning from all the traders on the floor. And the one thing I got to say about Catherine, I mean, I have lots of nice things to say about her, but the dedication has been amazing. She's in here absolutely every single day, learning about how to trade. And unfortunately, tomorrow's going to be her last day here with us before she goes back and gets educated up at school. So a big shout out to Catherine and a big shout out to Nelson as well out there. So she's going to be ringing the bell in about 20 seconds. So Tony's in the background. He's just monitoring, I guess, to make sure that everything's good. You can see in the background again. So with only 10 seconds left right now, we will hit that bell. So let's go over to Catherine. She can wave and say hi. There she is. Hey, what's up, Catherine? I hope you're enjoying yourself and I hope you had a great time. Only 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm happy with that. I like that. Nice little ceremonious ring there. Thank you, Catherine. And love that smile. Thank you so much. And she's been absolutely amazing on our floor once again. So thank you, Catherine, for that. But wow, that ends the day here at tradertv.live.
Yeah, definitely a good one. And you're right about that. Every single day, consistently, coming in early and learning, right? Like that's the big thing. Like screen time means everything to a trader if you're trying to learn. Like every single day is going to teach you something. But you know what? If you're not there to observe, then you're not going to get those lessons. Whether you trade them or not, at least you can be in front of the markets. Speaking of those markets, Brendan, how'd we finish?
I mean, it could have been worse, but we were so positive this morning, guys. If you remember, the day started very green, but not so much at the end of it. The NASDAQ 0.62 to the downside, the S&P 0.05, the Dow about flat as well. But overall, I mean, after the size of the rally we had yesterday, I guess this is pretty constructive.
All right. I was just going to call up Apple there quickly because Apple, I think, basically just talking about their iPhones, it's not really moving too much here. Something about iPhone sales up to 169 there. A nice little move. Apple expects to sustain iPhone sales in 2022. So I guess they're just saying that they're just expecting to sort of meet their goals. Maybe not exceed it, but I don't know. We'll take that for tomorrow. But what a fantastic day it was one more time here today. A big shout out to Barry Jones, man. You're killing it. I do have one of the cookies saved. Yeah.
Can we just show them off one last time?
Yeah, we show them off one last time here.
Like
so
these
are. Both have these.
These are unbelievable.
Yeah, like look how thick this one is. Like this is like a muffin top or something.
The Night Baker. Amazing, Barry Jones. You're the man.
Right now, if I have
I'm not
another
even
one,
sure I'm not even sure my daughter can eat that whole thing. Like,
it might be too much. Like, don't give it to her too close to bedtime. There, may not get to sleep off that one. But oh man, look, busy day. I forgot to put the powder on, so I feel like I'm a little bit hot here under the lights.
You can never tell with you. If I forget to put it on, it's like Shine Central.
Oh yeah. Did you forget today, or you put it back on?
No, that's how quickly it wears off.
Yeah, it's pretty shiny in here under the lights. But thanks again to everybody today. Thanks to Maggie. Thanks Lucas, Fahad. They're over there. Look, I kind of spoiled it a little bit today, but tomorrow's going to be Luca's last day. Not his last day. I mean, he's still going to be here and everything.
Yeah, don't make it
but
seem
he's
like
not going to be the permanent host of the midday show. So we have some fun stuff coming next week on that. So show your love tomorrow for Luca. If you're able to, come in tomorrow on that midday show. It's going to be his last day there with Trader Prad. So sad, Brendan, but we move on. Anything popping on your radar here?
He'll still be in the background too. You'll be able to see the back of his head probably. But I mean, Steph teed up what's coming next week, guys.
Yeah,
she spilled the beans a little bit.
Yeah, Cats. Well, the thing is, it's temporarily out of the bag, but people don't know everything.
Oh, yeah.
No.
So wait on that. Wait on that. But anyways, for everybody here, again, thanks to everybody on the show today. Steph, Prad, Luca, everybody behind the scenes. Me, Neil, Brendan, Neil, and myself, we're just here for fun. Everyone else is the ones that are working really hard. So we want to thank everybody for that. So once again, join us tomorrow. It's Rivian. Stay tuned for our trade of the day, which was AMC today. Good close on that name as well. So lots of profitable trades happening on AMC. For everybody here at Trader TV Live, thank you for being the best, by the way, from you guys. Thank you for being the best audience and such a great trading community. We'll never forget about that. Thank you to Sergio for the chats as well, for those 10 memberships. I think you can still claim one if you haven't yet. So thank you for being here, and we're back tomorrow on what may or may not be a free fall Friday. Ciao.